Damn. We
Yo,
live,
yo,
We
baby.
here
yo,
now,
yo.
shit.
Yeah.
The Four Sportsman. You already know what it is, man. Creative
Yeah.
perspective here.
Yeah.
To
Yes,
my
sir.
left, you got All Ball. Bottom,
All ball
like the Brady
TV. You
Bunch.
already know.
You got Flea. To my bottom left,
Flea in the
you
building.
got Dime Dropper. But you go and introduce yourselves in case we got something to promote. Go ahead, All Ball.
Oh well, all ball TV. It's everything, whether it's the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram, the YouTube. But also follow my brothers Fabian, Are We Live Flea, Dime Dropper, Full Sportsman or Nothing. That's what I'm rolling with.
Big Flea, CO here. You know, I'm back at it again with y'all. You know, I love to do this. Four sportsmen in the building. My guy Fabian, all ball OG too. My big brother, Dom in the cut. You know, I love that brother. Can't wait. Let's go.
Hey Dom, I ain't gonna lie, Dom. You looking like a Colombian drug lord. I'm just being real with you.
Nah, word to mother. Like
I love the look. I'm just being honest with you.
you the
Thanks,
child.
man.
You the child that. What's
El
what was
Chapo.
son's name? You know son's name too. Help me. Scarface.
I
Scarface's
don't know what you're
man.
talking about.
Manolo, right?
Manolo.
Manolo. You the son of Manolo and Scarface's sister. That's who you are, Don. What's homegirl name? What was her name?
I
Hey,
forgot.
She was his sister.
I forgot, like,
Yeah. I know you talking about. Yeah.
you
My
wanna
man
me, Tony?
Dom
But it was
El
but it was
Chapo
Michelle
Dropper.
Pfeiffer. It was Michelle Pfeiffer, right?
No,
No,
Michelle
no, no,
Pfeiffer.
no,
That
no,
was
no.
Sosa's
That
girl.
was Scarface's wife.
Oh, that was Scarface. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
you talking
whoever the
about
sister
Scarface's
was
sister.
and Manolo, that's Dom's parents, because that's what he's
Gina.
looking like right now.
Gina.
Gina.
Man,
Gina, there you go. There you go.
great
Let's
to be
go,
back
Dom.
with you guys for another episode. I already told my people, but actually, no, I haven't. But my computer is still not here. That's why if you look at my quality, I'm just in front of my green screen. It's not as good. But I got some content coming on my historic timeline when my computer gets back this week. So yeah, but right now, here we are, excited to get going.
That's the new code. I'm fixing my computer, eh? That's what you do in Colombia, eh? Yo, shout out to Boss Man in the building, Fish in the
Yes,
building,
sir. Yes.
Mr.
Oh,
Cheese,
Early.
that's family.
Miss
Yeah.
Tay, salute, peace,
Yeah.
hand purple,
Everybody in the
blue peace.
building early. Yes.
Dime is actually watching someone getting waterboarded. Hilarious. Fish, Fish is the king of the one-liners.
Yo, Fish be having me crying. Yo, nah. Shout out to Fish. We gotta give Fish some love right now. Fish
Yeah.
be having me cry. Like I be at work some days, just
Fish
seeing some of the
hilarious.
shit. Fish be having me crying laughing.
You know how I know somebody's funny? When I just like I don't agree with half the stuff Fish says, bro. And then I can't get anything out because I'm busy laughing.
Yo,
Like there's nothing I can do. Like he just knocks you out with the one liner.
Yeah.
That thunder behind you in Santo Domingo, huh?
It's going crazy. But speaking of which, we got I don't know if we people with one liners, people who are entertaining. They do this for a living professionally. They get paid. Richard Sherman just replaced Shannon Sharp. And we were talking about it before. I think it just made the news in the last couple of hours. It was official there in the States. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, I know I'm very interested in what Dom has to say, but I know Old Ball and Flea got very strong opinions. What do you think of Richard Sherman replacing Shannon Sharp at this point on Undisputed FS1?
One word, two syllables. No, one word, three syllables.
oh, C2 fucking it up.
Look at me. Terrible. Right? Terrible. Exactly. Um That's why I miss y'all. See? You gotta love it, man. Come on, man. Yeah.
Oh
Listen,
shit.
I'm gonna be honest.
Uno, dos, tres.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like it. And I'm gonna tell you why. I don't see Richard Sherman being able to discuss other sports. Like I don't see him sitting at basketball games. I've never seen him discuss basketball games, soccer, baseball. I've never seen him discuss or be around any type of entertainment, whether it's the rap world, the entertainment world, the acting, actress world. So it's going to be very hard for me to respect his opinion if they're talking any other sport but football. At least with Shannon Sharpe, he'd tell you he was a diehard basketball fan. So he watched it, he did things like that. So I don't like it. I hate it. I don't know how this is gonna work. I'm being honest with you. I don't think it's gonna work. I think they're gonna get through a couple episodes and that's gonna get cut short. I think this was just some type of headline. Let me just say this, and I'm gonna let Flea go. It just shows you how desperate Fox FS1 is. I think they've been looking all this time and they really don't have nobody. Now we in the month of August. The show airs in a couple weeks and they really don't have nobody. So I think Richard Sherman is just somebody to throw in there. But I hate it. Like I said, if it's not football, how are we gonna respect his opinion if he's talking basketball or boxing? I've never seen him sit courtside. I've never even heard him talk about anything except football. He's a very smart guy. I think he graduated from Stanford. Right. I think he's from Compton. Very smart guy, very articulate. So I don't take that away from a great football player. But once again, I don't know what else he does. So if it's a debate show, how is he going to debate anything else when I don't know if he knows about any other sport? So I can't wait to see this shit crash and burn. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yo,
I'm waiting for Skip to retire so I can pop bottles. Yeah, I said it.
Yo, leave it up to OG to insert emotion into everything. You know how he does. He jumps out the window off of shit like this. Let's start here. Back in 2016 September, when Undisputed started with Skip and Shannon, people were saying the same things OG2 was saying. It's not gonna last long. What does Shannon know about the landscape of sports besides football, right? That was always the thing. How was he going to be able to keep up with Skip when they're going away from the game of football? And after a few months, after a year, Shannon showed us that, like, he could hang. So I'm not going to say Richard Sherman is not going to be a great replacement. They'll never recreate that magic that they had between Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. They had great chemistry. They presented a great show every day. Yeah, it started to break down after a while, but they always presented a great show for people to watch, right? And Shannon was extremely entertaining after a while. He always started his love for LeBron James, the GOAT mask, the Black and Miles, the Hennessy, just being right? That aspect of it was super entertaining. My thing is, I don't know how entertaining Richard Sherman is going to be. The guy's a smart dude, so I know he's going to be prepared. But in terms of the entertainment value of being on TV, I don't know how he's going to create that. I remember, and I'm sure all four of us remember, that episode on First Take when Sherman was on there with Skip and Stephen A. And Sherman was giving it to him, right? He was giving it to him. And it was an awkward time, but at the time that First Take was going on, that was necessary because Skip never got any pushback from somebody, right? That felt a little, it felt a little uncomfortable, but felt good at the same time because you got somebody going back at Skip the way we always thought Stephen A should have done, right? So I'm just interested to see what kind of pushback Richard Sherman gives to him on a daily basis and what kind of chemistry they develop and how entertaining Richard Sherman is going to be.
Dom, what do you think? Because for me, like, these opinions come from all of me, All Ball, Flea. We're gonna come from actually watching it, maybe entertaining it. Like, you come from a purist standpoint, not for nothing. Like, Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. The way you talk about First Take is always, they ruined sports media. They ruined the way you perceive sports, and you're younger than all of us. So for you to understand that, it took me a while to be like, you know what, he might be right. Do you think this moves the needle for you, or it's just another they're just making it even worse? It ain't nothing changing. What do you really feel about this?
Well, I think my first thought was what Flea said, the Richard Sherman, Skip Bayless on First Take when he said, "I'm better than you at life." Shout out Nick Pillow.
Shout out to Nick Pillow.
He said, "I'm better than you at life." That was a viral clip. I thought that was hilarious. And when you first said Richard Sherman is replacing Shannon Sharp, I was like, okay, because I thought of that clip. I was like, that honestly might be entertaining. Then All Ball said something that makes a lot of sense that I forgot about. Now we have to hear Richard Sherman. He's gonna have probably quotes that go, on social media and stuff, talk about hoops. I don't know. I mean, Richard Sherman is a professional athlete, so you always can relate in that sense. But how much do you really know about hoops? It has nothing to do with how good you are. Like, it really comes down to how you can analyze the game. Obviously, being on a court has helped, and I'm guessing Richard Sherman probably played growing up a little bit. But how much NBA knowledge does he really have? I mean, he's gonna have time to watch because NFL is only on Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays. So he's gonna have time to watch NBA and maybe learn more about it, just like Flea said Shannon did. But going back to what Fabian said, y'all already know what I think about this shit. Like, everyone says, okay, it's supposed to be entertaining. If I'm trying to be entertained, I would much rather listen to All Ball talk than them. I swear to God, an authentic New York fan talk about his team that he's passionate about. These guys, I mean, of course they have passion for sports. Shannon Sharp, in which case, huge passion for football that he played professionally. And Skip Bayless does seem passionate about ball. But, I mean, Skip Bayless, I respect what he's done in his field, absolutely. But am I really going to sit here and say that he has helped basketball discourse? Maybe from a financial standpoint, how much money you can make by hating on one athlete so much and making a whole shtick out of it. Does he make me laugh? He absolutely makes me laugh, but he's not making kids more intelligent fans. Like, at the end of the day, none of these stands are doing this, or these haters, the Nick Wrongs, or even Shannon Sharp with his LeBron obsession. It's ridiculous.
Wait, Dom, hold on, run that back. The Nick Wrongs, I love that shit.
You haven't heard Nick Wrongs, bro?
I love that
Shannon Sharp, even to a degree, Rob Parker, like, these guys, dude. Shannon Sharp, you're a Hall of Fame tight end, getting into it with a role player in the league courtside because he's getting to look up James' face. Like, bro, are you serious? Like, it's honestly become comical at this point. Listen, Shannon Sharp is 10 times better than Dylan Brooks in his sport. But Dylan Brooks said, what, he's the guy on TV or something? Like, I mean, obviously I was disrespectful, but that's because Shannon Sharp, like, he made himself look a little crazy sometimes with the LeBron stuff. But I get it. He's from Ohio, right? And that's his whole shtick on the show. But just every single day having a Jordan stan versus a LeBron stan, it just continues this conversation of Jordan versus LeBron, which eventually becomes, the 90s versus now. And then it goes back to the whole discussion we have every week where we got each era shitting on the other. And I just don't think that makes us more knowledgeable. As far as the show, we'll see how it goes. As I say, I stopped watching the mainstream media a couple of years ago because I realized, like, I'm trying to be there, but I'm trying to be better than you. And also, if I want to support people, I want authentic content creators like ourselves. So I spend my time watching way more hours of All Ball on Instagram Live than First Take or any of these. I only respond to First Take occasionally when it's on my Twitter feed and shit. So I don't think much of it, but good for Richard Sherman. He's going to get a lot of money. And I like Richard Sherman because he's from out here.
Before you jump in there, Fabian, what holds Skip to such a high level of esteem within that industry? Skip been around for a lot of shit, y'all. Like, He's been in the building, he's been on the sideline, he's been with a lot of stuff, right? So I know he's become like this caricature on TV, right? He plays this role on TV. He's a villain, LeBron's biggest hater, all of that kind of stuff, right? But if you go take a look at Skip's resume, if you go listen when he's talking on Undisputed, not the nut shit, but the one line is when he drops in and he says, I was on the sidelines for the 87 finals in Boston. I was in Russia when Russia, lost, when we lost against Russia in the Olympics in hockey. Like, he was at a lot of these historical events, right? Covering the game, whether that's golf, whether that's football, basketball, soccer. Like, he's been around for a lot of the important shit. And so that's what really he's able to rest on. Like, all of this shit that he's doing post his journalism career is just like fluff. That shit is just icing on the cake. His real career is being a journalist and being around for, we can hate him, but he's been around for a lot of stuff.
I don't know if y'all hear a snapping sound in the background, or is that just me?
I hear
it. No, I've been hearing it the whole time, and that's why I've been shaking my head. Where is that? Is that me
Oh.
because I'm on my phone?
No, because I don't hear when you talk. I think it's when please talk again.
It's please,
Yo.
and I think.
Yeah, no, just like say a sentence. Or it might be all ball.
That's me.
Might.
So I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna jump out and jump back in.
Okay.
It might be all ball.
Let's see. No, I still hear it. Yeah, I still hear it going on.
What should I do? Should I test if it's me backing out?
Yeah, try it out.
Okay.
Let's see what happens, please. He's out?
Yeah.
He's out. And I don't hear it. Okay. Go ahead, all ball.
Yo.
Yeah, I don't hear it now either.
All right. You know what it probably was? While we was on, I had got the phone call, and I actually picked it up because it was my brother. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna hit you after the show, and that's probably what kind of jammed it up a little bit. My apologies, y'all.
Nah, it's all good.
Nah,
it might
good,
be who told us? I think Zach was telling us that. Shout out to Zach from the Z Show.
Yeah, big shout out. Yeah, you know what's crazy? I heard it, but I didn't want to stop the show because it was kind of flowing real good. So I didn't.
Yeah, no, it's still flowing good. We just live. You know how this goes.
Yeah.
But I like let's get to the comments.
Yeah, but until Dom. Okay, you want to read the comments? Go ahead.
Yeah, let's jump into the comments.
Dylan Brooks is a future star for my Rockets. Don't play that. I wish Dom
I'm gonna be
like,
hey Nick, I'm gonna be locked in. I'm down here in Houston too. I'm gonna be locked in on them this year. I'm gonna check them out.
Certainly.
Listen, man, if Houston buy in with you doking them, listen, if they can make a play in, listen, man, that's success. That's successful.
Two, they're just gonna be good to watch, man.
Yeah,
if they play together, they're gonna be good to watch.
Yeah, they're gonna be fun.
Did we figure it out?
Yeah, it was me. I got a phone call and that must have jammed everything up, but now I don't hear it at all, so we straight.
Yeah, we good to go.
I don't hear it either. So
yeah. So I just want to piggyback real quick. What Don was saying, Fleet made great points too, Fabian as well. Like I said, man, it's other people that also said what you just said, Dom, as far as like guys messed up sports media. Because it's no authenticity at all. Like it's just literally characters.
Yeah.
And, to me, it's just, and I'm just be brief. It's just real sad to see the legends doing clickbait. I'm just being honest, man.
I agree.
I don't understand. Like I said, I'm just cut from a different cloth, and I know I try to be funny, entertaining, because I like to laugh. I don't want to be mad all day, but it's like, yo, man, you gotta wanna just be honest. That's just my whole thing. And like I said, the Richard Sherman skip thing, I agree with what you said at first with it was kind of hard to, understand and be like, and it turned out to be great. But from the beginning, was a character.
Yeah. We know him to be that on the football field.
Right.
Yeah.
So as much as, it's called sports and entertainment. TV, you have to be, I'm not saying you have to be entertaining to the point where you're just a clown. No. But you have to have some type of, you have to be a little bit entertaining. And I don't know, for me, if I'm able to watch Richard Sherman for 2 hours. I'm just being honest with you. They're going to have a hard time. So I don't think he's going to be fully on the show. If he's fully on the show 5 days a week, like how
Shannon
was, boy, they are in trouble, Flea. They are in trouble.
It's tough. I keep saying that. I don't know how they plan to recreate that magic. I remember early Undisputed days, they used to have a lot of guests, right? So it used to help Shannon when they used to bring on Steven Jackson, Kendrick Perkins, like they used to bring on a lot of different guys to support Shannon when he's talking basketball. So I don't know if they're gonna do that for Richard Sherman to get him comfortable. All I do know is that we're gonna learn a lot about this dude, stuff that we don't know. Because same thing for Shannon. It's a lot of stuff I learned about him on that show last 6-7 years. I had no idea. So I'm trying to get him to BD. I'm trying to get him the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully, we in for some good television. But in terms of talking the game, that's what I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
So I think even with like what Nick Pillow was saying here, problem is now the people with the actual on the mic talent have no chance to rise. Trying to rise in a company like ESPN is so difficult. They barely want to give them hours. And then Fish said Howard Cosell made himself part of the game, but he kept his sports. But once the 2000s rolled around and the media became bigger than the story, then they ruined it. See, to be honest with you, I disagree with all of that stuff. Like, entertainment is entertainment. I just don't. For me, either Richard Sherman is good or he's not. Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, to me, it was must-see TV, but then it got out of hand. It's like I did a segment on Ice Cube versus Biggie, and like being from New York, you automatically think Biggie's better. Like you would just he's gonna just top no matter what the topic is. But then you go into it, Ice Cube is way more influential than Biggie. That's not close. And part of the reason why is because he was quality from the beginning with NWA. He is a part of changing the entire scope of the game. But what happens with that? Biggie, everybody copied them. Everybody's a carbon copy of NWA. It is not the original. And because of that, you have a whole bunch of copycats that a lot of them, they don't really have talent. They copy the BS that comes with it.
Yeah,
you see the like even 50 Cent.
I feel personally attacked because we had a conversation offline and you tried to sneak this bullshit in on live in front of people, right? So I ain't gonna act like you wasn't just shooting at me. That's fine.
Oh,
that's fine.
You could, but I would love for you to go back on that because I just think it's a part of the game with movies. It doesn't matter what form of entertainment, even in sports. What do they always say? When the Patriots, even though they didn't win the championship and they had the 2 tight end system with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, they changed the game. That changed football from then on. With 2 tight ends, you had to have 2 tight ends out there. So now with Skip Bayless and them, it's like at the end of the day, you can say whatever you want. This whole thing we're doing right now is all based on that. I'm sorry, that's how I feel. It's all really based on PTI. Part of the interruption started everything with sports, and they changed television, but they were organic. Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon are actual friends. They worked together on the floor, and they argued every single day, and it was a show before it was a show on a newspaper floor. That's how that started.
Even with the sports reporters. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah.
Every Sunday with Mike Lupica and Dick Schaap and those guys. Like that was, you know what I'm saying? That was like authentic sports talk. And they were columnists, journalists. Like they were attached to the game. They were beat writers at one point. Like they was attached to the game. And now we sitting around, talking the game and topics. And there was a level of authenticity and there was a level of integrity that they had to have to be able to talk that shit. Now you could just jump on here and say what you want. So
right, Cold Pizza, Jim Rome. Jim Rome's another guy. I think Jim Rome is another guy that to me, he's a troll. His whole troll era to me is what, 50 Cent to me was a troll. And Tekashi 6ix9ine just took exactly what he did. But you know what the problem with Tekashi 6ix9ine is? He is horrible. What does he provide? There is zero entertainment value. I'm learning nothing from him. So that's what we don't like about what Skip Bayless did. It went from you on Cold Pizza, you on First Take, and Stephen A. Smith becoming characters. It's like I'm watching your show and I'm hearing my homeboys repeat what they say, and I'm like, yo, bro, I don't even care about what you're talking about. That has nothing to do with basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what. And I was like, oh, damn, Dime is right. Dime is right, bro. I remember arguing with people and they were just trying to sound like Stephen A., like really imitating. I'm just like, yo, bro, that's not. Do you have your own opinion? That's crazy. So maybe that's what it is. And I believe, like Old Ball said earlier, and Dom mentioned earlier, I think we talented enough, we're entertaining enough, we got what it takes, we consistent enough, all of that. We look, and don't tell me, Fish, that's why I disagree with you, Fish. You can't tell me the cream don't rise to the top because they just gave Pat McAfee a crazy bag. Shannon Sharp is rumored to get another $100 million. Colin Cowherd might get $100 million from ESPN. And I don't even like Colin Cowherd, but you can't tell me that the entertainers, the true ones, ain't making it. Pat McAfee's amazing. You see what he did at the ESPY Awards? And that was on a short, they told him in a short amount of time. Yeah. Entertainers are entertainers, bro. They will pay top dollar for it. Demand is demand. So yeah, with 50, it came to trolling. But don't forget, 50 has a classic album, a classic career, and there's still integrity that comes with that. So maybe we're looking for the other side of 50 with this thing where it's not just trolling. Yo, we need this. We need the Four Sportsmen. I'm not so bad on it, but I'm sorry. I think I veered off because Richard Sherman, by the way, I think Skip Bayless There's no way they're not putting in work, and they didn't sit down in a room and they tried and tested this thing a million times.
Yeah,
he worked for ESPN.
I totally agree with
Jamie
that.
Horowitz. Yeah, some guy named Shapiro. Remember, they trying to spin off ESPN. This guy named something Shapiro on ESPN.
Yeah, he was the head.
Name.
Mark Shapiro. He was the head. He was the head of ESPN. Horowitz was a head honcho over there. ESPN. They came over to Fox, FS1, and they took, they brought Skip with them.
Right.
When they left ESPN. So yeah, I agree with that though. I agree with that.
And Fish, I'm surprised. I'm sorry. I'm surprised what Fish is saying, because to me, that Cash Money connection is not nothing to sneeze at. Like Baby and them, they ain't running from no money. They taking all that money. Yo, Dom, I think it is your phone. You can hear me, Dom?
The same thing happened to me. I got a call and now it's up. Hold on, I gotta go back.
Okay.
Yeah, just drop off and come back.
We'll keep it rolling.
Yeah, drop off and real quick, y'all. If I do it. Just throw your phone, if you can. Throw your phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, I just do buzz on silent. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, but
it still goes through my phone. It's crazy.
But yeah, fake. But like I said, y'all both. Everybody made great points. Like I said, I just feel, before we get off this topic, I just don't know if Richard Sherman can hold it down. Like I said, it has to be entertainment aspect to these things. I'm sorry. We may not like that. Some people may not like that. I don't know, but I'm going to go with Flea. I'm going to give it a shot. Why? Because he's a brother. So when it come on, I'm going to give it a shot just because of that. It ain't got nothing to do with Skip. Like I said, I hope he give Skip the business every chance he get. And I'm definitely going to give it a shot. Like I said, it's just, I don't know. I don't know.
No, I was going to say.
Hold on, just real quick. Shannon set that bar real high,
man. Yes, OG. He set a crazy bar that whoever was going to come behind him, whoever was going to come behind him, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Tough shoes to fill. Like I keep saying about recreating that magic on that they had on TV. Like they had that brother, older brother, little brother aspect to it. They had that, they're on opposite ends on football, opposite ends on basketball. Like they were completely on opposite ends of the spectrum. So if Sherm could come in there with that type of attitude, I don't think we got to worry about him being confident. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that. But
got you.
Just being able to carry a show, it's not easy.
So Fish confirmed that his Young Money Baby got nothing to do with Skip. That's hilarious, and that's where I was gonna go with this. I'm saying all that, like, I think what everyone talks about Skip Bayless, that he prepares like no other. All of this stuff, they prepare like no other. They're going to be prepared for the end of August. Football season's coming up. There's no way you can convince me at this point I'm going to bet on Richard Sherman being entertaining me 5 days a week. I'm sorry. I don't know what anyone is talking about. I don't care about that clip where he went viral with Skip Bayless, and he almost ended his career. That's what almost happened. Nobody talks about. They never invited him back on that show. They never invited Jalen Rose back on that show. This is Flea. Stephen A. Smith put it in his book. They never wanted that to happen again. The person who ended Skip Bayless on ESPN.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know who went to then you know who ended Skip Bayless on ESPN. Mm-hmm. Stephen A. Smith. Mm-hmm. He ended him because it went from Skip being the Teflon villain to Stephen A. always shooting him down and making him look silly, to the point where they got him off screen, and Stephen A. would never want him back over there because he'll have too much equity. He doesn't want to give him a chance to get any equity on that show. But my point is, I don't see Richard Sherman. I haven't seen an ounce of this. Shannon Sharpe has been entertaining since the day he showed up on my television screen. That has never failed. He has never failed to make me laugh. So was I shocked about the whole thing with Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless? Nah, I wasn't, because of what he did with Dion. Well, I always talk about what he did with Dion, what he did on the CBS show. He was always amazing. And I have seen nothing like this with Richard Sherman. I expect this to be a total disaster, a bomb to drop on August 28th, whenever this thing debuts.
Gotcha.
We're gonna see.
Yeah.
So
another bomb was dropped yesterday, and I don't know who we're gonna go first. Oh, actually, we should go to our. Come on now, we got to go to our LA representative
our LA
over here.
Correspondent.
Yeah, LA correspondent. Thank you for correcting me, Big Don. Dime dropper. Clippers fan react to Anthony Davis' big contract extension with the Lakers, as well as if you want to touch on the rest of their offseason and what this means to possibly LeBron ending his career with the Lakers.
Well, I think the first thing that stuck out was the figure, the money. $60 million is insane to think about, especially for people like us that have watched the game for a while and remember when the highest paid player was, at least for me, like getting like 20 million. You guys remember something, a much smaller figure in your time. So 60
Well, Mike
million.
got 30.
Yeah, 60 million for
at the end.
Yeah, 60 million
that's
for
true.
Anthony Davis, who is not very reliable health-wise, is one of the best players in the NBA, though, and had an amazing playoffs. At least the first 2 rounds, he was amazing. Best defender in the postseason. But I think the Lakers have to do it, right? Just to, if they're going to go all in, I shouldn't say have to do it, but if they're going to go all in and give LeBron his chances to win rings to end his career, then keeping Anthony Davis around is the move, because without Anthony Davis, there is no ring chances for the Lakers. He is their guy now. He anchors their defense. They look like a joke defensively when he's off the floor. I think it was the move for a couple more years, 2-3 more years. He stayed healthy in the playoffs, so maybe that gives you more optimism that he can do it again. So I think it is what it is, right? And I think with Jaylen Brown, who's not as good as Anthony Davis, although he's much younger, less injury problems, got paid around the same amount. I think you're going to see these contracts, this kind of amount, much more frequently, and it's going to be insane to hear that number. But these are just what players are getting paid nowadays. And Anthony Davis, I still think is one of the 10, 11 best players in the league.
Oof.
I go. I'd let him walk.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm not giving AD now. I'm glad.
What's LeBron gonna do then? He's gonna go crazy.
Now this is where it get tricky. I don't care how LeBron feels. It's not his team. He's not the owner of the Lakers. See, that's a problem that people veer away from. Yeah, he win your championship, but he holds your organization hostage. That's why Pat Riley and them got him the F out of here. Anthony Davis is not worth that. Anthony Davis is not worth that. Am I happy he got the money? Yes. I'm never going to pocket watch nobody. I'm just going to be happy. Get as much money as you can. But I'm curious to see who else they're going to get, because why wasn't it 4 years with maybe a fifth option? So that 3 years maybe get left them with some room to get another player.
It was an extension, OG.
Okay.
It's just an extension from what. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay.
He wasn't a free agent.
It's not a new deal. They just extended whatever he had.
Okay. Yeah.
So
for me, I don't even care about the acquisitions they made. It makes no difference to me. I'm not even Cam Reddish, Vince Solom. You can have that. That ain't, to me. They still not better than Denver. And they would have had problems with Memphis if all that turmoil didn't happen, with Ja Morant getting hurt sometimes and things of that nature. But I'm not giving Anthony Davis that. I'm sorry. Since the bubble,
just let his contract run out, what it is right now, and then evaluate from there.
Yes, because once again, you're the Lakers. You're one of the greatest organizations in all of sports. You're not going to have no problem rebuilding. I
agree. Maybe, you know what? I didn't know his contract situation. Does anyone know when his contract ran out before he got extended?
I want to say he got like a 4-year deal. He got like a 4-year deal that time when they, right before the bubble, when they made the trade.
Well, this might have been the last year.
That would mean his contract.
So that's why they had to give him the extension, because it's 2023 right now. That 4-year.
Nah, but he would have been listed as an unrestricted free agent going into this summer, and he wasn't.
That's true. So if we could get the logistics on that deal,
it would have expired summer of 2025.
Okay,
that's why they extended. Okay,
I kind of feel all ball.
You guys can read it with me.
I kind of feel all ball. Then you could have let him just play another year. What's he gonna do? Request a trade if you don't extend him? Like, because he's extension eligible now, so they tie him down. But what about in a year's time? What about LeBron and AD could go through another injury or something?
Can I say this real quick before I let Flea go? All these teams is panicking. It just goes to show you the right people's not in office. Let me explain. When you got a good GM and you got guys that's smart, that know how to draft and make the right trades and do things with contracts, you don't panic like this. Boston Celtics panicked, and now the Lakers panicked. Now here's my thing. Jaylen Brown signed, was it 5 years, 300?
Jaylen Brown's to me with his health history is much better deal.
Hold on. But Jaylen Brown is 5 years, 300, right?
Right.
Anthony Davis is 3 years, 180.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers in Boston need to win a championship while those guys is under contract.
Anthony Davis has already won a championship. But I agree with you on the Celtics.
Right now, that money you just gave Anthony Davis and that money you just gave Boston, Jaylen Brown, I need to see a title. I need to see MVP candidate. I'm sorry, Flea. I need to see all team.
Yeah, well, I think that's fair. I think that's fair now. At this stage, you guys have made multiple Eastern Conference Finals runs.
I agree on Boston, but the Lakers?
Yeah, I'm talking about Boston, Don. Yeah. They've made multiple Eastern Conference Finals runs. They've made the finals, right? Like, they're big boys now. They ain't, we ain't trying to figure this out. Like, and I mean big boys in terms of basketball experience. The guys are still young guys, but in terms of just basketball experience, I think they're, you would consider them now vets. A guy comes into that locker room, you would expect Jason Tatum to put him under the wing, Jaylen Brown to put him under the wing. Like, they're older guys in terms of basketball, right? But for me, there's a problem when Bruce Brown sits down and says, at no point did we ever think we were going to lose a game to the Los Angeles Lakers with Anthony Davis and LeBron James on the floor at the same time. That's a problem for me coming from a guy like Bruce Brown. No disrespect to Bruce Brown.
Thank you.
But if I'm not hearing that from Joker, if I'm not hearing that from Mike Malone, if I'm not hearing that from Jamal Murray, right? If I'm not hearing that from those guys, but your best bench player, the guy that comes off the bench, your best role player says we had no fear in playing them and got them out of there in 4 games, that's not going to hold bearing on if I want to pay him the money or not, but that's a problem. Like, why don't you and Braun incite fear in other players in your conference? Why is that? So you're probably not going to get another big, for Anthony Davis. You're probably not going to be able to replace him right away. So that's why I'm saying, for you, OG and Dom, like, let him play out his contract and see what happens. But I don't think you like, oh shit, we got to pay this motherfucker $60 million. Let's try to move him. I don't think you try to move him because where you gonna go? Where you gonna go to replace him? Where you gonna go to, put another big in that spot, another rim protector, another guy who's like Dom said, top 10 or 11 player when healthy. So you're not going to just go pick that out of the NBA. So I feel like they almost had to give him this money.
Please.
Now we see what we do.
Fleet, hold on, y'all. Can I go somewhere real quick?
Yeah.
Real quick. He's a clutch agent, right?
Yeah.
I'm not agent. He's a clutch client, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Just read between the lines.
I mean,
what he got him?
I think.
All right.
Yeah, that's all, folks, in New Orleans. Like, he got himself out of New Orleans. I think the only reason why I would agree with you all, Ball, is because they didn't sign another big man or two to counter Joker. That is the reason why you beat the Nuggets 3 years ago.
Jackson Hayes.
And there's crickets in the background. I wish I could put a little bit louder for you, though, so you can.
Let's put some respect on Jackson Hayes' name now.
For what?
So I think that's the only reason why. But the boring answer for me is, if you're already locked chain, ball and chain with LeBron, you got to do what he says, because you already agreed to that when you traded for him in the first place. you know, and there's a lot going on with him and his son. God bless him and his family, by the way. What happened with his family? That's crazy. What happened with his son?
100%.
And we always grew up with that in the back of our minds. I know a kid growing up, same deal. So that's very serious. And remember, I don't want to. This might be Skip Bayless-ish, but thinking if I'm LeBron, I ain't even thinking about whatever plans I have with my. I'm concerned about finishing my career, and that's it. However, let the cards lay where they may at this point, and it may just lay permanently with the Lakers. And if that's the case, what's the option? You let AD, you don't give him an extension. He's unhappy. And then what? I don't see how this works out for the Lakers in any way, shape, or form if you don't re-sign AD to an extension.
Hold on, Fleet? Can I ask you a question? Then I want Dom to respond after you. If y'all are GMs of whatever team, if you paying a guy that much money, should the guy at least be top 5 in the league, MVP candidate, and you should be at least guaranteed a finals appearance?
I don't know how to answer that, OG, because the money's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger if these TV deals keep getting bigger and bigger. So, like, I know we look at these guys like, oh my God, how the hell could we give him $60 million? And if we're not gonna give it to him, hold on.
So frame it. So frame it differently, Flea.
Huh?
So frame it differently. I think what all Ball is saying is max money in general. It doesn't matter if it's $2 million or $2, whatever the max amount is. He's saying, does he deserve that?
Well, I mean,
does Anthony is.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of players that are max guys that if we sitting here, all four of us talking right now, we might not agree fully. Desmond Bane is a max player right now, making max money. Do we all feel like Desmond Bane is a max guy?
For the Grizzlies, he might be.
No, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So there's guys that's going to be making $50 and $60 million that may not ever make an all NBA team. Desmond Bane might not, and I'm not, singling him out, but that's just the guy that came to mind that's going to be making close to $50-60 million. Is Desmond Bane an all-star next year? Can y'all pencil him in right now as an all-star?
Hell no.
Don, what you think, Don?
No, I couldn't pencil in Desmond Bane.
You see what I'm saying? I don't know.
There's no lead in that pencil.
I don't know who the prototypical guy is that we gonna pay $60 million and not worry about it. I want to throw something at y'all though. Lakers always find a good big man, right? We go back. Wilt, Kareem, Shaq, right? Dwight even had a cup of coffee, right?
Pau Gasol,
Bynum. They always find a good big man. A year or two, I think it's 25. I think it's 25 when his deal is up. Morey calls Pelinka and say, yo, I want Anthony Davis. I'll give you Embiid. Who says no?
I'm saying no.
Who? Philly or LA? Who's saying no?
I think LA is saying no.
No on the deal?
Yeah.
Why?
To be honest, Embiid, when it comes to injury, it's no difference.
Huge
and
difference.
I think Anthony Davis is way better defensively. I think Joel Embiid is not a better basketball player. If you give me both healthy, Joel Embiid is not better than Anthony Davis. And with Joel Embiid, my opinion, I can be wrong. If I'm wrong, I apologize to the young man. He's never in shape. I don't think he takes the game serious. He only cries when he loses. But when it's all fun and games, he's over there laughing, joking, playing around. He got the ugliest cry I ever seen also, too. Oh, my God. Please stop crying, brother.
The goat cry.
Man.
Yeah.
But Gilbert Arenas said it. He said, yo, I know about guys when they work out. He said his body breaks down in the second round because he works out to where you only going to go but so far. So for me, I don't think the Lakers do that deal. Now, if he took care of his body, trained, ate healthy, things of that nature, then I can see it. But nah, I don't see the Lakers doing that. I'm sorry. No.
Gilbert Arenas is this like Skip Bayless in a way. Like, I don't know what to take seriously from what he says, but things like that, they mean the world to me when I hear them. When he says in this era, these guys don't even work out like that. They don't run up and down the stairs in the stadium. All they're doing is running from 3-point line to 3-point line. How much shape do you have to be in? He's in his words, and he loves this era. There's no way that this era is in better shape than previously. Can't be because the way they run. Embiid being one of them. Ain't no way possible if I'm the Lakers. I'm accepting
Depends
that
what era we're
deal at all.
talking about.
That's why they highlight Steph so much, because they say Steph runs maybe 3 to 5 miles a game, right? Like within
Wow.
the game,
That's
he
ridiculous.
runs like if they equate it to miles, it's almost like 3 miles a game. You know what I'm saying? And so not every player is, moving without the ball like that. You got a lot of guys that if they're not touching the rock, they sitting in the fucking corner watching the play. Like, so I don't know. I like for me, I like Embiid a little better. I've watched him, and I know OG is talking about, when they lost to Toronto and all of that, but I've watched him over the last few years change his approach. And what I'm saying by that is he ain't a goofy ass nigga like Dwight Howard anymore. Like, he ain't running out there trying to have fun, talk shit, all of that. From my vantage point, I'm watching a dude approach the game a lot more serious. Now, I would love to see him in pristine shape. Like you said, OG. Like, he's just not a guy that looks like he's in tip-top shape when he comes into the season, right? Like, he looks like he could drop an easy 20 and it'll be like he dropped 15 and he might be a different player. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's the same, but knowing LA, I would just imagine they would try to explore that or something else. They're not gonna go forward without trying to replace that position once his contract is up, once his deal's up, whatever.
And AD's been accused of that also, of not being in shape. And because I'm trying to, you just ran through the list of names of Laker greats, centers. I don't even know if you mentioned Shaq.
I did say Shaq.
I don't know if you did. You did? Okay, well, he's the guy I remember, and we always bring it up. Not in shape. Got hurt, had surgery in October, right before the season started. But Embiid and Anthony Davis are not in this class.
Fabian, when Shaq came to LA, do you see who Shaq was in Orlando?
Right.
Embiid was never that.
Right. But that's my point.
Shaq
that's the guy.
Shaq being overweight and not healthy is better than fully healthy Embiid.
No, I don't.
Yes, it is.
No.
I'm wrong.
Overweight?
Hold on, Don.
No.
It took me a second. I had to think about it for a second. All right, I'm wrong.
LA Shaq.
Listen, any Lakers Shaq is better than
Thank you.
To me.
That's all.
That's not true.
I'm not talking about.
How is that not true?
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm not talking about Boston, Cleveland, Phoenix. I'm not doing that.
No, he said
Neither.
any LA Shaq, any version of LA Shaq. So that 03-04 version of Shaq, Embiid is got smoke for him.
Though, this guy's averaged like 25 and 12 in the finals against Ben Wallace. Like, yeah, he got gassed towards the end and he wasn't as good as before, but he's still in the finals. Ben Wallace,
right? And I'm cool. And I'm cool. I'm cool with taking Embiid against that.
That's hold on. Wait.
Shaq's
That's not out of shape Shaq in the NBA Finals, bro. That's not out of shape Shaq. What are we talking about?
What is out of shape Shaq? Because with the Lakers,
that is out of shape Shaq. That entire year,
no, it's not.
That entire year, Shaq was shit.
Okay, but by the time you get to the NBA
against Ben Wallace, I'll be shit any day of the week.
Now that's great. That's great.
That might be
if that 27 and 12 is in terms of the most dominant player we've ever seen. I'll take Embiid as his peak against that 03, 04, 20 and 27 and 12 Shaq. I'll take my chances.
Embiid will get demolished.
Yeah, I'm not rolling.
I just don't think
I'm not rolling.
Go ahead.
I just don't think Embiid has any business being out of shape. That's the point. Like, we've seen Shaq get out of shape, have surgery, and then get into shape. My point of bringing him up was he could do whatever he wants to do. That dude was built differently. Embiid is not built like that. Shaq came to the league #1 pick, breaking rims down off the backboard. Who, like, not for nothing, Embiid, like you said, cry. That's what he's known for, is crying, always falling on somebody. He's damn near as dangerous on that court as Draymond Green, the way he falls on everybody. Like, Joel Embiid has no business getting away with all this murder that he be pulling off. He hasn't won, doesn't get out of the second round, none of that. He's a big loser. Not for nothing.
Whoa.
No disrespect.
Yeah,
It just is what it is.
You
can't
niggas are fucking nuts.
So hold on. So
like
Flea,
Joel
so
Embiid is one of the most talented guys in the league. Like
So
this
Flea,
hands
all right.
down.
Okay.
So Flea, let me ask you a
Talent.
question. Anthony Davis, New Orleans Pelicans, up till now, who you taking, him or Embiid?
No, I'll take
You said
Davis.
You said
Right,
without
right.
no Laker time, just from rookie his time in New Orleans.
Right.
Oh, never.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
I'd probably say Embiid, but he had more help.
I would probably say, whew, that's what disappointed me. That's why I'm off or kind of low on Anthony Davis, because I know what I saw in New Orleans for 7 years. I know what I saw. So that's tough. I'll probably go Anthony Davis. I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably go Anthony Davis.
So I mean, so my point by asking that is saying, yes, Embiid is great, but you got to remember when we talk Anthony Davis, we see what he can do healthy, man, and we see what Embiid can do healthy. Embiid not getting you past the second round. Like,
have we ever seen Anthony Davis do anything, make a deep run in the playoffs without Braun?
No.
Okay, I give you that, but can we also agree Anthony Davis never had the crew that Embiid ever had?
Yep.
Embiid had Jimmy Butler. Embiid got James Harden. I'm just being real.
That's exactly what I just said.
Like we act like Ben Simmons wasn't a all-star,
Right,
NBA guy, right?
I apologize. When Ben Simmons was there, he was an all-star. So I don't think Anthony Davis and the Pelicans had nowhere near the team Joel Embiid had.
You're right about that.
Well, he had Drew Holiday.
When he had Boogie and Rondo.
But Boogie never
got hurt. Remember, him and Boogie was crazy. It just got hurt.
Right.
But we see what that was about to turn into. And that Drew Holiday back then was nowhere near the Drew Holiday now.
No, he wasn't.
I wouldn't say that. No, Drew Holiday was ill back then. He was still.
He and Rondo destroyed CJ and Dame. That was embarrassing.
Hold on.
Thank you.
Hold on. Embiid had in his prime, he had Jimmy Butler in his prime. He has James Harden. He had Ben Simmons in his prime. He had, I never liked Doc Rivers, but he had to other people, good coach. Always had a solid crew. Got Maxey, Tobias, like PJ.
He's had more talent, no doubt.
They gave him everything that you can give a player. Got shooters. So, like I said, this is no knock on Joel Embiid. I'm not saying he's not great. I'm just saying, to answer your initial question, Fleet, if I'm the Lakers, if I'm the GM, I'm not trading for Joel Embiid for Anthony Davis. I would rather I would try to get a decent big man, let's just say like a Jared Allen or something like that, and I would try to get a package with that. No, you ain't let me finish. I would try to get a shooter and maybe like a 3-and-D guy. I would rather do that.
I was in the lane of the Lakers always needing that big, right? So that's what I was saying, OG. Like the Lakers always needing that big that is an all-star, that is polarizing, all of that type of shit, right? And they always find a way to replace that big. However long it takes. But I would be interested to see how they, what they do with Anthony Davis.
But I think what you're saying, Flea, I think why it has credence to it is because what Fish is saying. We're really talking about two guys with serious questions in their motivation for the game. And that's true. Anthony Davis' motivation for the game is questioned, and that's why you're like, which one would I have? Like, don't get me wrong, I'd rather have AD with his upside. I think his defense, nobody in the league is touching him. But Fish is right. The only reason why this is even an argument is because which one of y'all really do want to play basketball?
Right. I got
that's a fact.
But you know
that's
what?
A fact.
But you know what? Like, I don't even like. I mean, I hear that, and that's cool. And from our vantage point, sometimes it does come off like that. But like, we got to be real. These niggas, they playing in the best league in the world, like best league in the world, with a job that is like 450 of them out there in the world That's like a small, very, very small. We grew up. We know how that what it is. You know those numbers that they used to say back in the day. You got like a 0.00001 chance of getting drafted to the NBA, right? Like I know that there's guys that don't love the game, but we're talking about two guys that are the best of the best. Like you said, the cream of the crop at their position, at this game. And we questioning if they like motivated, they love the game. For me, I don't jump out there like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I know how passionate I am about the game of basketball, and I ain't half as good as those two guys. So I feel what Fitch is saying, but you know, I just want to highlight sometimes that these guys get a bad rap for not being emotional and not showing what we want to accept as, okay, he loves the game. How do we know Marcus Smart loves the game more than we know Joel Embiid loves the game?
Well, I'd say Marcus.
That's
I don't know.
official.
Actually, that I don't know, but I will say that Marcus Smart definitely exudes more enthusiasm and hustle to the cause.
And that's what I'm saying. Enthusiasm and hustle.
Actually, no. Embiid is pretty enthusiastic about the Sixers. I'm not gonna lie, but hustle for sure, Smart. But you can say that about Smart over 90% of the league. He hustles more.
Right. That might have been a bad example. But y'all know what I'm saying though, right?
Yeah,
You know
I think
Yeah.
Embiid, I agree with you because I think Embiid can come off more entertaining, but that does not mean he cares about playing more than he does entertain. So I'm with you, Flea. How can you tell? Because Embiid putting on a little bit of an act. At the very least, he's doing that to fool you, if anything. But we see it for Gilbert Arenas to make that comment. Yo, we don't think you're in shape. Like these are the whispers. Like you getting hurt again. Yo, you keep leg dropping people on under the basket again. Like what are you really doing out there? This is crazy. So but Fleet, that's a great point. You can't tell who the hell really cares. Like what?
It's
that
hard-
comment
it's
sometimes
hard
gets out of
for-
hand.
I disagree. I think and that can be a topic for another show. But I think at times.
But stay right here. I like where we at right here.
Yeah.
Stay right there.
Well, I think at times you can tell who cares and who not. And we can segue right into who I'm about to say. James Harden. At times, he does not care.
Good segue.
Excellent.
At times, he does not care. They have, you can YouTube how many times he literally just let a person just go by him. I'm sorry. There's times where it's game 7 where you gotta, I don't care if you go 2 for 30. If you're the best player or the second best player on the team, go out on your shield. So there is times you can see guys who don't care, who's not in shape, who just, they know that they talented enough to get by. So I disagree with that. You can see that shit clear as day sometimes. I'm sorry.
I think there's isolated guys. I think there's guys that we could absolutely isolate with their approach, right? We'll never question Russell Westbrook's, passion for the game, right?
Sure.
We'll never question that. But how do we know Donovan Mitchell loves the game? How do we know?
Agree.
You know what I'm saying? How do we
Agree.
know? We don't, he's not very demonstrative. He's not very, you don't catch him, talking that shit on the court. You don't catch, you know what I'm saying? So how do we know? Because he shows up every night, because he's professional, because he carried a Utah franchise to the playoffs every year. He got to Cleveland. He helped them get to the play. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how we know a hooper really love a game, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, we got to show it, through how we approach the game. But there's a lot of guys that just don't have that attitude, that it factor on them. Some guys do, some guys don't.
Yeah, I think
that's
there's
a great
levels.
point.
I think everyone cares to some degree and has some love for it because that's what they do. And they as Flea said, like, to be that good, you have to dedicate so many hours and days to that craft. So I think you have to have some kind of love for it. But I think there's levels to caring and loving the game as well. And I think that's what we can more easily see when someone's on your team and stuff. Like, you can see which players seem to care more about the brand of the organization and how hard they go each night. And, like, yeah, how many times a dude, like, will quit in a must. Like, if the stakes are higher, are we seeing more effort out of you? Because 99% of the time with professional athletes, you do. But, like, I also think watching the game is relevant as well in terms of love of the game. There's a lot of dudes that like hooping, But after they stop hooping, like when they're off the court, they don't like talking about basketball like that. I think that's different than a guy like Kevin Durant, who everybody I've talked to that met him says, oh, he'll talk basketball nonstop. Like he loves the game. Kobe requesting footage of the guys in the 60s. Like he had a totally different love for it. When it's off season, LeBron is watching women's basketball. Like he's a junkie. Chris Paul, same thing. Kawhi, for example, he said to everybody, and I was shocked by this, he doesn't really watch basketball like that. He says he only watches film when it's assigned and stuff. Anthony Edwards says he doesn't really enjoy watching NBA, so he likes watching football. And I would never be able to tell with Anthony Edwards because he's so enthusiastic about basketball. So it's tough. You know, I think watching it as well. Like my friend went to college with Troy Brown and Peyton Pritchard. And he said, like, dude, you talk way more basketball than them. Like for you, it's like ridiculous. Like he says, I love basketball than anyone he's ever met. He shared the locker room with Peyton Pritchard and these guys. So, and I think that can be said about you guys as well. I think there's legitimately players in the league that love basketball less than us. I swear, I really believe that. But I still think that everybody has to have some kind of baseline love for the game to be that great. And I do agree. Let's continue with James Harden because I do agree that there's levels to caring, and that's one of my biggest issues with Harden.
Well, I mean, I think part of the reason why we get this impression that, at least for me, with James Harden not really caring, especially over the last few years of his career, and we touched on this, shape. You could look at some guys in this league and tell that they take care of their bodies 12 months out of the year. Not just the little 8 to 9 months that we playing professional, that we playing games, right, playoffs, all that type of No, some of these guys take care of their bodies for 12 months of the year, and some of these guys take care of their bodies never. And I look at a guy like James Harden, and I'm not sure how well he takes care of his body. I could look, it's the eye test, and sometimes the eye test works with a lot of shit. Seeing if a guy's in shape or not, it worked. I'm looking at Luka right now. Luka's over in Slovenia, and that motherfucker, he looking svelte right now. He looking slim. He looks like he's dropped some weight, and he needs to stay at that weight, right? So that should be his playing weight. Harden comes in, and he looks a little pudgy. He looks a little, and a lot of his game now is finesse. It's not power. It's not drawing fouls anymore. Like, you got to be in shape. Y'all remember Ray Allen? Ray Allen became a fucking vegan at the end of his career just to extend it. You know what I'm saying? Just to be in, available. So I don't know. But to answer the question, I'll never say James Harden is better than Dwyane Wade, but I don't think it's like head and shoulders. Dwyane Wade is just like dwarfs James Harden. I don't think that.
Yeah, I think I'm running through all these names as we talk, and it's like even with Shaq, like he was just so ill out the womb. What else? Like, what else were you gonna do in your life, bro? What the hell else were you gonna do? Be a light pole? Like, what were you gonna do in your life? It just so happens we got the NBA ready for you, and you came out here, and it came to you naturally. And he's a big guy like that. He's pretty. Me and Adam always talk about this. Shaq, LeBron, and Wilt had that kind of diva mentality where they were a little distracted outside off the court. And yeah, LeBron takes it seriously. He spends $2 million on his body and everything, but they're all distractions. And Wilt went through it, but these are mega stars. I just don't think, the love of the game, how we perceive that, determines whether or not you're great or not. I think Michael Jordan is just a sicko. I think Michael Jordan is a sicko.
Doesn't determine how great you are.
Yeah, I think, like, look at Kawhi. So for me, like, James Harden, I just don't like him. Like, maybe as a person, he's probably cool to chill at the club, VIP section, but the way you go about things, there's no way I could do a podcast with you. There's no way I could do anything with you if that's the way you treat things. Like, I talk to you guys off camera. This is the way you go about business. I like the way you guys go off camera. We take this seriously. I don't think James Harden takes the game seriously. I don't know what he takes seriously. If he has kids or whatever it is, if he got family, I hope you do that. I would think anybody would take their family seriously, but just work in general. There's a thing with that. I used to be a slacker. Then it came a point in my life. It's like, how are people going to look at you? Why should anybody give you any money, give you a raise, do anything for you? Why should they work with you? How are you going to negotiate if you don't even work? You're basically a slime ball. So to me, James Harden is doing a lot of greasy moves. That thing with him and Daryl Morey, you don't ruin that relationship. That to me is very lazy in the way he approaches basketball and in the way he approaches his relationships, even off the court. Because even that basketball move, that step back to me is very lazy. The way Iman Shumpert and Gilbert Arenas broke that down, it was very like Pacquiao. It was 1, 2, 3 time, and you could time it. That means you didn't have a counter. You didn't work on that. You were lazy in your approach. I almost, and maybe this is personal, maybe I'm biased. I always say this. I almost stopped watching basketball because of James Harden. That shit was boring.
So hold on.
That shit was.
Let me ask y'all a question, because I think this is a great topic. And Jeff, big shout out Jeff T. He the one that they got him quoted saying he would take Harden over D Wade, and it kind of put everybody in uproar. Let me ask y'all a question. Let's just say D Wade ain't got no rings. Miami D Wade, Houston James Harden. What are we doing?
See, I just can't.
Am I going first?
I mean, you don't have to answer, but I'm just trying to figure out. No, but I'm just trying to figure out, why would Jeff Teague say that? I
want to remind folks that's watching and the panel too. And I'm with you. We spoke offline, Fabian, about how frustrating it was to watch James Harden during that stretch of basketball, right? We've talked about that. I think I've talked to two about that as well. Right? There was a stretch where, you know, I'm down here in Houston and I'm watching them on the local channel, and I'm watching every game of James Harden, right? But I don't want it to get lost that the scoring titles, the drawing fouls, the what he was doing in that 5 to 7 year span, Houston was winning. Houston was in the playoffs every single year with tons of different rosters, y'all. Like there's a year where his second best player is like Trevor Ariza, and respectfully to Trevor Ariza, but you know what I'm saying, like
all that, yeah.
Eric, like you hear what I'm saying? Like at one time they trotted out James Harden, Trevor Ariza, Pat Beverly, Terrence Jones. Y'all remember Terrence Jones, right? Like you see what I'm saying? Like there were rosters that they rolled out, and James never complained. James went out there, led the league in scoring, led the league in assists, same year at one point, right? Like there was a lot of winning going on too. He was in the playoffs. They were always a 1, 2, 3, 4 seed, right? They were never scraping to get into the playoffs. So all I'm saying is that, yes, it was a point in time where it was hard to watch because he was so ball dominant. But you would expect a lot of ball dominant guys in this era today for them to have the ball and it not equate to any winning. Not championships, but they were very, very relevant in
they were successful. Yeah, they were successful.
Western Conference. So I just wanted to add that.
Go ahead, Dom.
Am I answering all Ball's question about the no rings thing? It's really hard for me to see D Wade without the rings, because that's where my first respect for him came, was that he was able to lead his team to the championship. Like, of course, then if we're just comparing them players individually, it's hard, because I think D Wade's just a better two-way player, but hard. Like, I think how you affect winning has to be involved. Like, it's very hard for me to, because if James Harden didn't have any, go ahead.
No, but I'm always play devil's advocate. And this reverts back to what Paul Pierce was trying to say. And I understand. And I think this is what Jeff Teague is trying to say. But he didn't really say it fully. If you build what they built in Miami for D Wade, and that's no knock, you know, I gotta commend Pat Riley. Them dudes is great down there, what they do. But you telling me if you put James Harden in that same situation, he's not winning 2, 3 rings?
No,
I don't know.
You guys are gonna make me do this again. You're gonna make me do it.
Do
I'm
it.
gonna have to
Do it. I think we're thinking the
Yeah?
same thing, Dom. Do it. Yeah, I think we're thinking the same
No.
thing. Do it.
All right. Let's have a real conversation about James Harden. His third
Let's do
season
it.
in the league. His third season in the league, they made it to the finals. And Kendrick Perkins, I don't know if that's true or not, what he said, but he put him on blast saying that he was partying every night in Miami. He played like ass in the finals, and he played amazing in the conference finals. He hit that shot.
He
in Game 5
carried.
over Kawhi.
He carried
He
them
was a
in the
beast.
conference finals.
This is what I liked him, by the way. I still like James Harden. He was clearly too good to be a sixth man. And in the finals, he played like ass. You can use the young excuse, right? You can. It was only his third year. You know what D Wade was doing his third year? Taking his team to the chip, averaging 30 plus in the finals. So that's early career. That's not even a conversation. Then he goes to Houston.
I mean, my fault.
Yes.
You was done, Dom. Go ahead, Dom.
No,
No,
I
Dom
way
is
more
cooking.
with James Harden, but I was just getting started. But what were you gonna say about that? You can interject.
No, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, we could say young. We could say third year in the league. We could also say that Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook was on that team. So Harden ain't the guy. I don't care what nobody says. Harden is not the guy. He's the third guy to get drafted in that lineage. It was Durant, then Westbrook, then Harden. Harden wasn't the guy. We know Durant was the guy.
Wait a second. Wait.
In
We gotta stop you there.
D-Wade's third year, who was D-Wade sharing the basketball with? James Posey?
Okay, but this is Dom's point. That is Dom's point. Chris Bosh came out and they specifically targeted James Harden in that finals. I have never heard a team in my life say we are targeting D-Wade tonight. That has never been the case ever in his career, in his life.
But as a
Chris Bosh said that.
As a third year player coming off the bench, you already got deficiencies. There's deficiencies somewhere. So yeah, they're gonna target you. D-Wade was a leader. James Harden was not put in a position to have to lead.
But hold on.
For sure.
Hold on, Dom. Let's kind of be fair. James Harden, Houston, and today was not the James Harden in OKC.
No.
D-Wade was already.
We starting there.
But hold on. But D-Wade was already who he was. I'm saying when James Harden came into his own, that, like I said, I'm not trying to say who's better. I want Dom to finish his point about James Harden. I'm just saying we can't keep acting like James Harden isn't great. We may not like
James
him.
Harden. He's
Good,
great.
Dom. Good. No, because like Flea said, you can't take away averaging 30 plus, scoring titles, MVP, and let's not forget they kept running into the juggernaut, or they had an opportunity to get to the finals. Yeah, I know it's a big if, but they're running into Steph Curry in them. That team he was dragging every year to the playoffs and being successful in the playoffs, we can't sniff at that. I'm sorry.
Before you get to Houston,
I'm not gonna let y'all do that. I'm not a James Harden fan, but them Houston teams should have not been successful how they was with those rosters. I'm sorry.
Why not?
It was a game 7 against arguably the best team ever assembled. They were in a game
and they lost.
The conference final.
That was his best season. That was his best season for sure. He was a beast.
D-Wade ain't losing to them.
Four player in the league. Top 4 player.
Hold on, Dom. So go ahead, Cook, Dom. I want you to finish.
Hold
your
on,
point. Go ahead.
Dom, before you go to introduce Houston years, Kobe was out there saying this is 2 NBA players. I don't like to quote these NBA players like that, but Kobe even came out and said, "Yo, that guy ain't winning for you. He ain't playing no defense."
That was after.
So
that was when D'Antoni.
There's a thing for me when other players don't fear you.
Well, that was just as okay. So 2013, I think did really good things that first year in Houston. He didn't have a very good team, and he got them to the 8th seed. That was pretty impressive. They they lost in the first round though to OKC after he really tore Westbrook's meniscus. Yeah, after he tore his meniscus, it was 4-2. So that was like a great first year for him to like show that he was a star. And then the next year they got Dwight Howard, who was still considered the best center in the NBA, even with the back surgery. You know, so I don't think that team was bad necessarily. Like the Jeremy Lin, Chandler Parsons, Dwight Harden, that could be like a second round team. They lost to the Blazers. They lost 2 games at home, by the way.
Hold on.
That's the series Dame. That's the series Dame hit that shot.
No, but hold on.
They weren't some complete underdog. They got up. They had Dwight Howard and James Harden, and a second-year player gamed them at the buzzer. Aldridge had like 45 points in the first few games.
Are you gonna say those names with a straight face again?
Jeremy Lin was not a bad player at this time. Why are you saying that
Yo,
like that?
Two. Don't be disingenuous. Don't do that because you loved Jeremy Lin when he was a Knick. Cut it out.
No.
No, we're not doing that.
You
we are not.
you
we are,
did
hold
too,
on.
Fabian. I'm not
Hold
asking
on,
you.
hold on,
I
hold
know
on,
you
hold
did.
on.
Chandler Parsons
Hold
was
on.
not a bad basketball
I know you
player.
did.
Yo, hold on. You you're not going to give me with James Harden, Jeremy Lin, Dwight Howard, who we know wasn't the same Dwight Howard, and what was the other name?
He's still a star though.
Chandler Parsons.
Come on, man. Come on, y'all.
He
We
wasn't a bad
smarter than that.
player. Are we rewriting history that Chandler Parsons was like an instant 15 points though back in the day?
All right, go ahead. Finish your point, Dom. Go ahead.
Me and Chandler Parsons had an interesting back and forth on the socials a couple years ago. Very, very
Really?
interesting.
That's
So
the
that's
real
personal.
that's
Okay.
the real Danny Ocean.
Look, that was
The
that was a
getaway.
little disappointing. I'm not saying that anyone was holding that
Ocean's
against him at
11.
the time. In 2016, he was an 8th seed. That after going to the conference finals, that was a little weird. McHale got fired, right? That was. By the way, I don't think Kevin McHale's come out and said that his work ethic was like a little bit questionable and stuff, and that he didn't he have choice words to say about James Harden, McHale?
Well,
No, he had
doesn't?
choice words to say about Dwight Howard.
Listen,
Not
I agree.
not
Hold on.
both?
I
He said
agree
something
with
about Harden too. I remember.
yeah, but
Yeah,
fellas,
I
I
would
agree.
imagine that too, Dom.
I agree. James Harden work ethic is horrific. Like I said, I'm not a Harden fan,
No, I'm
but
not even.
but I'm not going to take away what he did in Houston. And in Philadelphia, he got them 2 games. They have an
He did.
MVP on their team. We see flashes of what he is capable of. Now, why he doesn't do it on a consistent basis, I don't know. But I'm not gonna, because I'm not a fan of him personally, and I don't like that he hangs out and he don't take the game serious. It's not going to take away the numbers he's going to put up when his career is over. He has the MVP. He has scoring type. Like, come on, man. We can't do that.
We're talking about Dwyane Wade. We're talking like 20. Okay, when D'Antoni came, he took off, right? But like that first roster you mentioned, yeah, I'm not sure who their second best player was. There's a number of guys you could choose, but that was not a bad team. That was a perfect team built around what they wanted to do, and that was run a ton of pick and rolls with Harden. You had Patrick Beverly, who was at the peak of his role playing career, starting 3-and-D guy, was awesome. Ryan Anderson was a great stretch for shooting the ball. Defensively, he wasn't good. Come on, offensively, that dude was lights out with the 3-ball.
He got a deal. He got a deal from Houston. Did he get the deal from Houston or Orlando?
I thought it was the Pelicans.
He won most improved player and then got that
yeah.
big deal.
He could shoot the ball though. I remember
he
playing
did.
against them. And that's all he could do. But that's what D'Antoni likes. It stretches to the floor. And then Clint Capella is a great lob threat. So just with Harden being as good as he was in the pick and roll, it was really hard to guard. And then they had Eric Gordon and Lou Williams on the same team coming off the bench. That's an instant 18 points each. So they weren't that bad. Like, you could clearly tell that Westbrook was outmatched that first round series against Houston. And then you had them. Kawhi got hurt, and then Jonathan Simmons locked him up. We're gonna forget about that. Let's not forget about that. And Manu blocked him from behind the previous game. Like,
you know what?
That was the joke. Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. Hold on. Because since we want to rain on James Harden, I'll do a little rain on D Wade.
Okay.
Without the Super Friends going to save him, what's his playoff records and his records? Where's his MVPs at? Where's his scoring titles at? Where?
He got one.
Okay, I think he don't get an MVP.
He don't have an MVP. He got a scoring title.
He don't have an MVP.
And
look, James Harden got an MVP, right?
Well, no. Houston, James Harden with those teams that, like, we could disagree. Those wasn't good teams. A lot of them guys that was starting on those teams is bench players. I'm asking you, when D Wade did not have LeBron in them, we didn't have Shaq, Alonzo Mourning, and all them guys, A-Walk in them. What was D Wade doing in Miami?
Losing in the first round.
Couldn't do anything. The team. Well, we going down that route,
worse,
but
okay,
but
once 2013.
And the point is, though, this really started because Dr. J brought up Kevin Durant bouncing from team to team. James Harden, you say that, but he started off with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, and he's the reason why they lost. Period. Then we point to another game 7. You can't get the job done, bro. When you talk
about loss in the finals?
Yes.
How was he the reason? How was he the reason he was the 6th man at that time? How was he?
Because he was their point guard The Miami Heat knew it, and he kept bringing the ball up. And Chris Bosh said, "Yo, we knew we couldn't stop. We knew we couldn't stop Kevin Durant, and there's nothing we could do about Russell Westbrook because athletically they were on the same level as us. But James Harden, we knew we could suffocate him. We knew we could make him turn the ball over.
He was finishing games. He was playing fourth quarter minutes. He was playing starter minutes as the sixth man.
Give me in NBA history where the sixth man got blamed. Give me NBA
Westbrook.
history.
I'm not okay.
Manu. Y'all love fucking Manu, right? Manu.
And he was Manu 2.0. He was Manu 2.0. And on top of that, that's the problem.
I'm gonna let Fabian finish.
No, Manu used to what?
Turn that shit over. That's why y'all know that's why Pop didn't love him like that at one point. He would turn that shit over a lot. He would cost the Spurs a lot of different games just off the fact that he's trying different fly shit. Manu never gets slack for how bad of a ball handler he was, how awful of a passer he was at some points, and how careless he was with the rock. He was.
All right, I agree with all that. But my point is this: I've never heard nobody say in the finals they blame the sixth man for losing. I've never heard that.
What about
heard? Well then it's news to you. Breaking news for you, old boy. You just heard it right now.
No. Hold on. I want to hear when y'all ever heard.
13 years later.
No, never.
Like the Lakers got Michael Cooper. He was coming off the bench, right?
Yeah.
At one point, yeah.
Right. With Kareem and Magic, you're never going to hear somebody go, well, you know, the reason why they lost the finals, man, Michael Cooper. No.
Kevin, you know what they were calling James Harden back then? They were calling him Manu Ginobili 2.0. We were all. It wasn't like James Harden was slept on like that. We knew what he was.
The dynamic that he played. Wow. Yeah, Dom, I was just going to say the dynamic that he played throughout the entire season and that whole playoff run, it threw everybody off when he shit the bed in the finals. That was like, yo, what the hell is this dude doing? Like, he can't buy a basket.
Fabian, you can't excuse Westbrook's ending of games in some of those finals, man. That was when he got the reputation really stuck about him being reckless at the end of games. Magic criticized him on live television, remember? Badly. Yep. I'd never heard Magic be that negative about a player before. So you can't just
Russ came back and had 40
right, but you're pointing.
I don't know if y'all remember.
Right.
So they lost, but he came back and had 40.
Yeah, I've always been down on Westbrook just finishing baskets in general. The difference between him and Derrick Rose for me was always Rose got better every single year, was more efficient every single year, played smarter all the time. But at that time, James Harden was the primary reason why they lost. I don't care what position on the bench he came off of, what position as a starter he came off of. Of course, it's not the only reason. But I've never.
Sounds personal.
It might. I don't. He don't owe me money. I don't owe him money.
All right.
We're comparing him, and this is the real problem. When we compare all these two guards,
Fabian started
all
this
the time.
He doesn't like James Harden, by the way. He started this by saying, "I don't like him."
I kept it funky. And you got James. If you compare James Harden to Reggie Miller, Klay Thompson, Allen Iverson, all those other guys, have fun. But when you talk about D Wade, Kobe, and Mike, the excellence is there's nothing to mess with them. They are excellent. There is nobody denying that. Nobody was Kobe was talking about D Wade like, nah, he's that dude. Brandon Roy before he got hurt, same thing. Even Westbrook, Kobe gave him that love like that respect. He did not respect James Harden, bro. I've never seen this a day in my life. You cannot be top 3 nothing. No, sir. You are not on D Wade's level. Don't you ever. James Harden. Jeff Teague needs to be drug tested.
Those teams you criticize Wade with were so bad to me. Like, their second best player was like an old Jermaine O'Neal. Like, if you had given him a Dwight Howard that's averaging 18 and 11, that still would have helped a lot. Especially Dwight Howard, even up until 20, I want to say 15 or 16, probably 15 at least. He was still an all-star caliber center that was still protecting the rim well and was a great lob threat, and occasionally could give you a bucket in the post.
So
Fabian, can you look? No, you're gonna go ahead, OG. I just want to ask Fabian. 2009, that's D Wade's scoring title year. Did they make the playoffs? My first question. My second question is how far did they go?
I want to say they got
know
beat
that-
by
I know that
Boston in 5, and D-Wade was killing
No.
them. And that's when that.
That's not.
Well, that's not that year.
That's not it. No, that was the year before. I know. So that was the year after. I know that because the 2000s is my shit. So like I can rattle this off like off the top
No,
of my head.
hold on. So it's simple. Being a genius that you are, did he make the playoffs the year he won a scoring title?
Yes, he made it. He was the 5th seed.
Okay, I'm
And they
wondering. I wanted to know what was the outcome of that. That I can't remember the 2009 Eastern Conference.
I'm about to tell you. They lost in 7 games to the Atlanta Hawks, and every single team won the home game, and they were all blowouts. But that team had Josh Smith, Horford, and Joe Johnson on it. He had him. Who else was in that starting lineup? Rookie Beasley, old ass Jermaine O'Neal. Like that team. Maybe Sean Marion. Maybe Sean Marion's good.
That sounds about right. That sounds right.
This is all.
Yeah.
This is all I want
Hold
to
on,
ask.
so not 2009 playoffs or 2010 playoffs.
2009
is the one you're talking about. When he played Boston.
Okay.
And there was no chance they were going to do anything.
But this is all I want to know before we go to the last topic. What I want to kind of try to compare rosters and see who had the better roster on them down years that he had in Miami, and maybe on the down years that James Harden had in Houston.
But what is that?
Sean
prove?
Marion only played half the season.
It
relevant
proves
as well.
because Dom is saying James Harden had decent teams, and I'm saying them teams wasn't decent.
Jesus.
Bro, these guys had no one
Okay.
averaging 15 points. This fool D-Wade is dragging these
They had
dudes, man.
UD was the starting power. Wow.
Well,
Mario Chalmers.
give
Rookie
me that-
Mario Chalmers, by the way.
what's that roster right
Chris
there?
Chris Quinn plays 60 plus games. Yeah,
The
this is a
game
bad
started.
team.
That means
This is a bad
so.
team.
The main starter was Chalmers, Wade, Haslam, and Sean Marion, who played 41 games with them. He missed half the season, like Don was saying.
Go to their playoffs.
Dime.
And
Hey,
see.
Dime.
Yeah.
This is a bad team.
I
That's
know.
a bad team.
Bro, look at their starting lineup in the playoffs. D-Wade, Jermaine O'Neal. Wait, James Jones was starting? Holy shit. Haslam and Chalmers. Like, bro, who is creating a shot?
No,
on that
James
team
Jones
besides
was not
Wade?
starting. Yeah, or James Jones was starting.
Well, yes, he
Nah,
is.
come on, man. But
Oh my
but this is but
Hey,
hold on. This
bro,
is all
that
Ball's
team
point
is
though.
too
What the hell is D-Wade supposed to do
Offensively,
with
they're
this?
No,
That's a
no,
bad
But that's not his
team.
point.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Right now, I'm asking, do the same thing for James Harden. Don't
Which
do that to
season?
me.
Which season?
Now, what season? Whatever. Come on,
No,
man.
do
No,
his
come
first
on. What do
scoring
you mean?
title
You ain't talking about OKC. You ain't
No.
talking about Brooklyn. You ain't talking about Philly.
No,
So
no,
which season you talking
hold
about?
on. That roster was that the D-Wade scoring title season?
Yeah.
Yes.
So go to the roster with James Harden scoring title season.
Well, the first one,
2019,
because
he
you know
had Chris
James has
Paul on
multiple
it.
scoring titles.
Chris Paul was hurt, Dom. Don't do that.
He was hurt,
The
but
first
he's still
one-
on the roster, and he still played.
So these are his scoring title seasons, right? These 3.
One.
Okay.
Look at that shit.
Remember, he averaged 20. He averaged 34 and 10, 34 and 11. Those are all great numbers, by the way.
So now, Flea, you
I
said
mean,
go
I
to
mean-
the
He's
first
a
one,
numbers
right?
god. I'm not. He's
Yeah,
a
go
numbers
to
god.
the first scoring title season, that 2018.
This is a great team.
What's
A
their record?
fantastic
Hold up.
one.
Don't you moving too fast, gang. You moving too fast.
sorry.
What was their record?
65 and
How many
17.
games? How many games did they win?
Name the roster. I want to hear the roster.
How many games
65
did they
games
win?
is a lot.
Can we hear the roster?
65 games.
65 games. Number 1 seed in the Western Conference.
Let's hear the
I'm
roster.
sorry. Here's the roster.
That team's
Nah.
great, man.
I can't see it. It's
These are
little.
the
I
starters
can't
right here, right? Okay. These are the starters. Capella, James Harden, Trevor Ariza, Chris Paul, Ryan Anderson,
see. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a better team.
What's the rest?
But they
That's a
replaced.
better team.
PJ
But they
Tucker,
replaced
Eric
Ryan
Gordon.
Anderson.
Let's go. Hold on. Go. Let him finish. Go ahead. PJ
Luke
Tucker.
Luke
who else?
Mbamute played a lot for them.
Love him.
Love him.
Hey, fellas,
Chris-
y'all telling me? Hold on. Y'all telling me this roster in Houston is that much better than the roster y'all just named with the Miami Heat?
You're bugging. Now that
It's not
you
even
can't
close.
even you can't even
It's
yeah, you
not
can't
even
even be
close.
serious.
It's not
bro.
close. It's not close, OG.
Yo, that was
CP3
all.
was
Yo, that
still
was
really
all James
good.
Harden, man.
Chris
You can't
Paul
be
was
serious,
no, it's
oh,
not
boy.
all James Harden because
No, Dom, give me the averages of them guys. What was their averages?
You see, look, James
CP
Harden averaged
15
30,
night.
Paul,
18 for CP3, 18 for not Tucker, right? For Eric Gordon.
Eric
Capella
Gordon,
averaged 14.
18 a night. That's
Like,
I ain't know Eric Gordon
D-Wade
ever
didn't
had
have that.
Listen,
points a game.
And also,
listen,
the thing
we
with
also
that for
look at
me,
the way
all
the
ball
offense
is
right?
Clint
yeah,
Capella
exactly.
is
That team,
14 and 11.
That's because
And
of James
2
Harden,
blocks.
Flee, that pick and
yes,
roll to
it
the
is.
basket. Don't
That
Yes,
do
is a
that
lot.
from
No,
ball,
him.
that is a lot.
ball.
But
14 and 11
can I
and
just
2
name
blocks
two
from
things?
Capella?
Go ahead, Don.
Shit.
He was good. Can I just say two things for context? One, the this team, it was James Harden, Chris Paul to take turns running pick and roll, and you had PJ Tucker as your 4, Ariza as your 3, and then a lob threat. So when you run a pick and roll like that with just a bunch of shooters, it's so much more space. You can't do that with Udonis Haslem because he's a short corner, like mid-range guy. So like, imagine if you put a stretch 4 with Wade and then run pick and rolls. He could get a good shot every time too, in my opinion. Not maybe as good of a passer as Harden, of course, but he still could get a great shot every time. And look at the starting lineup that you're naming, right? CP3, Ariza, PJ Tucker, and Capella. What do they all have in common? They all can defend. Harden
All of
is
them
the
want to
one
play
guy
defense, yep.
that's the worst defender on his team. They put a bunch of great defenders around him and shooters and said, you know what? You can get us a good shot every time. And it almost worked. But I still think that style, like Kobe said, has limitations and it makes
I
one
never say
guy
this to you.
dribble the
Don't
ball
fight
too much.
this shit. I never
Hold on.
say that to you. Don't fight this shit.
D-Wade on that roster, they winning 65 games?
Maybe not, but
I don't know.
maybe not.
It's
James
not built for
Harden,
D-Wade.
But James Harden is not guaranteed.
That's
any
what I'm
wins to be
saying.
on
Like,
any of the
but look,
teams
but
with
what's,
Wade.
but
It's
how,
not a
but
good
again, like,
y'all overhyping that roster, man. I'm
Nah, it's
sorry.
a
how
good
yo, how
roster.
we over, hold on.
It's
They
a number
won,
one seed in
they
the
won how
Western
many
Conference,
games?
65 games, OG.
Yeah.
That's
We
a
talking
hell of
about,
a
and then,
roster.
Bro,
and
that's
then you
how
give
crazy
D-Wade.
James Harden was.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not
Oh,
crazy.
yeah,
What we're saying is that okay, now you take that's when KD leaves OKC, so OKC's basically done. So now all you got is Golden State and Houston, and maybe
They were
when San
not
Antonio is
basically
healthy,
done. They were
Kawhi's
not
there.
basically done. They had Paul George.
Nah, we
And
gotta stop. They were basically
what?
done. OKC
No,
was
it's not.
they were
You
injury
can't be
prone.
no.
So what we
You
doing?
can't.
What we
You
doing? We
can't be
telling lies
basically
on live TV?
No, we're not. We're not lying. You can't be basically done when you're getting the 4 seed and you have 2 stars, one of which is averaging a triple double. You can't tell me they're basically done. They weren't going to beat the Rockets, but they weren't. I'm just saying they weren't done. What are you saying?
So they were the
You're acting
third
like
or
they're
fourth
automatic
best team.
wins. Huh?
They're
Paul
not
George was
on
28
Houston's
a night
level.
in Oklahoma City.
Paul George tore both of his shoulders up, and he talks about it all the time. He's injury
Yeah,
prone.
that's
Period.
but
That's not
he was
even
like
the
a number.
point.
He
The
was like
point
a
is
third. He was like a third
were
in
they
MVP voting that
That
year.
was the
Like
season
Paul
after.
George was really good that year.
were they as good? Were they as good as OKC when they had Kevin Durant? Yes or no?
Of course not.
No.
Of course not.
So then OKC dropped off, and now all you
Yeah.
have is Golden State, Houston, and everybody
And the rest
else.
of them.
That's
I
what
don't
it
know.
is.
I don't know if you drop off with the way Russ ascended those couple of years. I don't know if that's like a, huh?
It's definitely a major drop off. Kevin Durant, you know how I feel about Kevin Durant, but they're no longer a championship contender without him.
Yeah, they're not a
Oh, this
championship
is an
contender.
argument.
Well, that's a drop off.
How many times
Exactly.
was that OKC team in the conference finals? They made it to the finals once, but how many times have they
Twice.
been?
No, 11, 12, 14, and 16. 4 times.
Okay.
That was 4
Yeah. Because they lost
11,
in the conference
12.
finals to
San
Golden
Antonio.
State, down up 3-1.
San Antonio, Golden State, and Dallas, and then they beat San Antonio the 2012.
Okay, so that's 4 times.
So that's a major drop, right? So Fleet. That's my point.
That's a lot.
They're a championship contender with Durant. They're no longer a championship contender. Houston is now a championship contender. So to say that this is not a great lineup, no way possible.
With the addition
65
of who,
wins.
With the addition of who, by the way?
Listen, like I said, y'all all make great points. I'm not going to keep fighting it. But my opinion, I don't think that roster is great as y'all making it out to be. And that shit was all James Harden. I'm sorry. And I think if you put D-Wade on that Houston roster, they are not winning 65 games and they are not competing for no wins in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
I don't think you're going to go after Clint Capella and all these other players to surround around D-Wade. That's not how this works. Why would we do a Lob City lineup around James Harden? That makes no sense. Pick and roll lineup around D. That's not his game. He doesn't play James Harden style.
I think D-Wade's an underrated pick and roll player, though. I still think he can get you great shots.
That's fine, but Daryl Morey's in Houston.
You roll the ball out there to James Harden. So take me home, go get me a bucket, I'm well more inclined to say, here, James Harden, go get me a bucket than I am giving the ball to D Wade. And just strictly shot creating, getting open shots, all that type of shit. Yeah, I think I'm a
I would take James Harden for getting an open shot over Wade, but I will say this. Wade is a very underrated passer, and I think in the spacing, the reads he was still averaging 5 assists with that team. I think that pick and rolls, I still think he makes some great reads off the dribble.
Dwyane Wade doesn't shoot it well enough for them to win 65 games. That's just my opinion.
He doesn't fit that team.
Well,
maybe we're talking about this team, all ball.
He still could
this
win.
One?
You just replace them and put D Wade on that team. They're still winning at least 53 games to me. If you get
what team is this?
At least.
This is the season before 16-17.
This is the team I was talking
Lou Williams playing. Right.
And what's the roster?
James Harden.
This is a second round team.
Harden.
This is a second round team, in my opinion. But because Kawhi got hurt and then James Harden shot the bed, that's why, to me, it was a little bit of a black mark.
How many games they won that year?
Read the roster.
55 games. They won 55 games this year.
Impressive.
And what's the roster, Faith?
It's James Harden, Eric Gordon,
Harden, Ryan Anderson, Clint Capella, Trevor Ariza.
It's the one I just said before a couple of minutes
ago. Pat Beverly. So Pat Bev, Harden, Ariza, Anderson, Capella.
Yo, bro.
You replace Beverly with CP3 the next year.
Like, bro.
Yo, bro, what? This is one season.
You about to say that's a bad roster?
That ain't no good. Yo, y'all really all here saying that's a good roster?
That's a
for him.
It was to get to the playoffs or maybe the second round.
Two is a bug.
You gotta remember that Chris Paul and Blake Griffin that season missed 20 games each. So I think we were personally better than them. We would have been the third seed, but we got hurt. So were the third seed.
Clint Capella owes James Harden 15% of whatever earnings he makes in the NBA.
Sure, but
Trey
Young gets him a double-double as well.
But
Capella's a great lob threat.
But then now we really gonna and I'm not saying because I see fish in the I'm not saying James Harden's better than D Wade.
You drinking?
Right, listen. I'm not saying James Harden's better than D Wade. I'm just saying James Harden is not as bad as we all make it out to be. I'm saying with some of them rosters that he have, y'all are really overhyping those rosters. Those are not good rosters to where, hear what I'm saying? Those are not good enough rosters to where you are competing and winning games in the playoffs. You winning 50+ games. In some of them playoff series, you are getting almost out of the Western Conference Finals to the finals. Those rosters are not good enough for that. That was James Harden.
Yes, we agree.
Largely James Harden, but bro,
we don't disagree about that, bro.
I'm just telling you, the year before the Rockets got Chris Paul, when we played the Jazz in the playoffs, Blake Griffin hurt his toe in the third game, and Chris Paul literally dragged us in 2 games, running pick and roll every single time down the floor in Utah, hostile Utah, and we beat them. And he was averaging 25 points a game in the playoffs. CP3, after we beat San Antonio a couple years back, he got over a little mental hurdle to me, to a degree. And I think that you saw that in Houston. Obviously, he never got over the full thing to win the championship. But, when he spazzed against OKC in 2014. He totally spazzed in that Game 5. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Do the ball with
that
his
was
leg.
terrible. To see such a high IQ player, the person that everyone considered him or LeBron,
I remember
the
that
highest
vividly.
IQ players in the league, making mistakes at the end, trying to get fouled and stuff. I was in shock. It was but then he got over the hump when we beat San Antonio. The 3-1 choke to Houston, I don't think was as much his fault as some others. But when I saw him beat Utah, we lost to Utah in Game 7, and he had ended another playoffs without Blake Griffin. I said, if Chris Paul wants to go be a second option somewhere, I don't blame him anymore. And that was the first time we got to see CP3 as a second option. And I remember how D'Antoni used it. Every time Harden came out of the game, they'd have CP3 running pick and rolls with the shooters and either Capella or Harrell or Nene. And again, in D'Antoni's offense, we saw with Nash, you surround these amazing pick and roll players with shooters in regular season basketball when the teams aren't as good defensively. You can light some teams up.
It was beautiful.
And they were. But in the playoffs against a team like the Warriors, who And the Spurs, who moved the ball so well, it had limitations.
For them to
It did, but they still won 7 games.
But for them
Facts,
to
right?
miss 27 threes in a row was so crazy because, like Don was saying, we watched them all season long. Harden comes out the game. Chris Paul is controlling that, and Eric Gordon is hitting threes, and Reza is hitting threes, and Anderson is hitting threes. Every day, they was lighting shit up that year.
Yeah.
A good roster, too.
And you know what? Those threes that they missed against Golden State, a lot of them were open, too. And I just think my biggest thing is they had no plan B. It was just, it's either if you get to the basket and it's not there, you shoot a three. There was no in between, and that's not a championship formula in my eyes.
You just summarized James Harden game. That's his game. He doesn't have a plan B.
And with D'Antoni it was, but with McHale, he was shooting mid ranges and 18-footers and shit.
No,
I
I'm saying
Harden at that time.
I'm saying I loved Harden until that in the finals that happened, and then we went to Houston and it was like, bro, what is this? There is no plan B. He's either like when Iman Shumpert broke him down, I was like, that's exactly what I was saying. There's no way that you're in the NBA and somebody figured you out. But that's crazy to me. So there's no plan B to his game. That's the problem with him all ball. It's not that he wasn't part of an excellent team, bro. He was part of a couple of great teams.
You talking about Iman Shumpert on a podcast telling niggas he figured him out? I ain't never seen Iman Shumpert strap James Harden. I ain't never seen that shit.
But Flea, when you
we can go to the highlights.
Listen, we all been on the court at some point, and if we're playing in a pickup game, I know it's just a pickup game, and we're not playing against NBA players. But if you miss 3 or 4 threes in a row, we're like, okay, let's go to the basket. These guys missed 15 threes in a row, and they're still like, you know what? If it's open, we'll still take it. Like,
hey, Dom, listen.
Come on,
I missed 10 in a row. I missed 10 in a row. I'm still putting it up, baby. I'm sorry.
Still putting
that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And they had nothing. Look at the shot quality that the Warriors are getting in the movement. I know they have better personnel, but
that's my thing with D Wade at his prime and his peak of his powers. If we're just comparing them at their peaks,
he's getting to the line.
To take James Harden over him. He's getting to the basket and putting pressure on the defense like everybody else that's on that level. And James Harden, bro, he's looking for the foul. I've never liked that kind of. That is, you're looking for a bailout. Anybody who plays like that is, and you're not built for that. Like Giannis.
That was the frustrating part, though, Fabian, in terms of watching him. Like he was beautiful at some points, but then there were other points where, he was trying to get to the line, just baiting, and it was just bad basketball in my opinion, just aesthetically watching it.
Because even his scoring and passing to me is the same. It's like 1 level, 2 levels maybe. He throws an alley hoop. If he doesn't see the alley, he dribbles it out and like he's stuck. He'll pass the ball out and then he doesn't even move on off ball.
Yo, what's going on in the comments?
Off ball,
what's going on in the comments?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking too much for you. All right. Great offenses.
What's going on?
Overrides great defense, except with Harden in the playoffs. Fish is coming through with the comments, guys. So be ready. No team is good without that great player. What are you saying? But Harden is the scoring equivalent of Steve Nash. Neither game is championship basketball. Ironically, both ran D'Antoni's system.
True. Yep, that's facts.
Harden better than Nash.
I agree with Fish.
You put Wade on that.
Listen, they may get less regular season wins, but you put Wade on that Rockets team instead of Harden, I'd still have more confidence they can win the championship. I never thought. Well, I just don't think D'Antoni teams can win rings. I'm sorry. Did you see what's his name said yesterday? Al Harrington about Mike D'Antoni?
No defense at all.
They never taught a lick of defense.
Crazy.
That shit just makes me more confident about everything I've ever said about the guy. Like I don't.
But that also goes to say, like, T-Mac, what the fuck are you talking about? Like look at this roster. Let's be real. No, that's where it came from. T-Mac came over to the Knicks, came in the locker room and said to Al, like, yo, Al, like, we could put something together, man. We could make the playoffs. And Al looked at him like, nigga, what are you talking about? Like, we can't make that.
Hey, Flea, look, I heard that. And you know what Harrington and T-Mac can do? Shove it where the sun don't shine.
I know you didn't like that.
Harrington.
I know you didn't like that.
No, but see, Al Harrington broke that down, bro. They were saying like for T-Mac to get gassed up, he's like, yo, bro, you don't even know what's going on over here. This is bad. It's worse than you think. Like you can't.
Can I say this? And this might ruffle some feathers. As great as he is, he a little too fond of himself for me.
McGrady?
Yep.
I knew that was coming. I knew
He's
that was
always
coming. I see
been
some
there.
comments on some posts somewhere. And I
Yeah,
can see
you
Poole's not feeling
violate
right
my Knicks like he a little too. You see the story Jeff T said about him?
What he said?
What? Oh
He was
yeah,
like-
yeah, in Atlanta.
Yeah, like your man. He said, yo, your man pull up. He got traded to Atlanta. Then we all look up to T Mac. This is T Mac. He said we in practice. When they named the starting fives, they say me. He said T Mac looked at him and was like, he starting. He trash. Jeff T said he roasted him all year. Nigga, you ain't LeBron. You ain't this. My thing is this. You come for my Knicks, I'm coming for you. T Mac, as great as you are, you're a little too highly of yourself, bro.
No, he's always thought. He's always thought.
Yeah, but I'm over it. It turns me off. Get out of here.
Yeah.
If you that great, get us to the playoffs then.
His knees were
washed.
done at that point.
I was having a conversation about T-Mac. Well, he got pulled into the conversation. I want to see so let me see what y'all think. I know it's off topic, but we was talking about T-Mac. We was talking about Harden, even Nash. And what I mean by that, those three guys, when they left the teams that they were drafted by, they kind of like took off, right? T-Mac goes to Orlando and 2 scoring titles, he becomes T-Mac, right?
Right.
Harden leaves OKC, MVP, multiple scoring titles, just becomes the player that he is, right? Nash leaves Phoenix, gets picked up by Dallas, comes back to Phoenix, but now is back-to-back MVP.
Right.
My question for y'all is, and this might be a little far-fetched, but he's the type of player. Another guy, Gilbert. Gilbert leaves Golden State, comes over to Washington, becomes Hibachi. Does Jordan Poole have the ability to make the jump that I'm talking about with these guys, with where he's at in Washington?
Good question, bro.
Wow.
Not saying he's gonna be the T-Mac, the Harden, the Gilbert. I'm saying, does he have the ability to make that jump, be a borderline all-star, average 25 a night? What do y'all think?
Well, let me respond to that first, because I'm a big Jordan Poole guy, and I've been saying it. Even though Steph Curry got the Finals MVP, which he deserved, the emergence of Jordan Poole and the great play of Wiggins is what got them there. Mm-hmm. All you need is opportunity. Jordan Poole was never going to get the opportunity to go to state because look who you got to play behind, which is legendary. Now that you get an opportunity to show your skill set, yes, I think Jordan Poole is going to be borderline all-star, and I think he's going to average 25. Yes, he can do that. I believe he can.
What you think, Dom?
I think he can average. I think he's going to average around 23, 24 points a game. But I don't like those guys. He might be a star once or twice, but I don't know. This might sound harsh, but I see his ceiling. I don't think it should be harsh, but I think Jordan Poole's ceiling is like a Jamal Crawford or Lou Williams guy. Like just an instant bucket. Okay. I think he'll start, obviously. Those guys are known as sixth men. But I don't know. I feel like if Jordan Poole is your leading scorer, averaging 25, I don't see that team winning a lot. I don't know why. But maybe he changes the narrative on that.
Oh, hell. I agree. I
but
agree. I don't think.
The guy like he took teams to the playoffs.
Yeah, I can't see him being the lead guy and being able to make Washington a playing team, a playoff team. I don't think he's that polarized. They got Kuzma over there too. You know, Kuz ain't never seen a shot he don't like. So, I don't know what I know they're not going to be that good. I was just wondering what you think, Faye. Like, I know the guys that I named are like guys, but they weren't guys before that.
The way you framed that question was amazing because I like to tie it into what Old Ball said. For T-Mac to be this overconfident in himself, because I was a T-Mac guy. When it was him versus Kobe, I had T-Mac and he disappointed me. So T-Mac is something personal with me, definitely. But he said when he got signed by Orlando, he did not expect to be that good. He himself.
Yeah.
He himself.
He did.
So maybe Jordan Poole is going to be humbled by this because what he lacks is maturity. That's clear as day. Like, all the faces you're making to the ref, I understand what happened with Draymond Green and should deserve to get snuffed. I don't know if you deserve to get snuffed. But when you talk like that and you antagonize, you better learn that there is a reaction. So maybe this is also part of the reaction to being immature. You get traded by a championship caliber team to the wasteland of the Wizards. So I like what you said because all those guys, it's not the fact that clearly we have not seen James Harden, T Mac, and who's the other guy? And Steve Nash caliber leader of talent by Jordan Poole. We have yet to see that.
Right.
But why not leap in maturity? That can happen for you. Especially remember, he has his father in his life. He has a lot going on that is unraveling now. Like, yo, these things can tie in. Like, yo, bro, we got you. If he had that system around him, I want to see him take a leap. Like, now that you say that, now I'm rooting for Jordan Poole, bro. I've never even thought about it like that.
Is it fair to put in question his maturity though, Fabian? And here why I'm asking. But here why I'm asking is because I just watched Klay Thompson on Paul George's podcast today, and Klay had nothing but good things to say about Jordan Poole. I've watched Steph Curry talk about Jordan Poole throughout the season. He has nothing but glowing things to say about Jordan Poole. I've listened to Steve Kerr talk about Jordan Poole. Has nothing but glowing things to say about the dude. But then, on the other hand, we hear how Draymond talks about him. We've heard. I don't know if y'all heard the story about how Damian Lillard feels about him. There's an excerpt. I don't know if y'all saw that, but
I've seen that. Yeah,
you know, Dame talks about not really feeling him either. So when the upper echelon guys on your team are praising you, your coaches is praising you, a nigga that snuffed you and a dude that you competing with is not, I don't know how.
But hold on, Flea, stay there. How long has Jordan Poole been in the league now?
4 or 5 years, because he got that deal. So it was after the rookie deal was over.
He's the same year as RJ Barrett, same year as Zion and Ja Morant.
So
4 years, 4 or 5 years.
So all right, so going with what Flea just said, why doesn't he get the benefit of the doubt? Everybody else does. When they say, yo, this person is this young, he got to mature. Why he don't get the benefit of the doubt?
That's a good question. I think that has to do with locker room. Like you give a guy the benefit of the doubt because he's in the locker room with a Steph, with a Klay, with a Draymond. So you almost think maybe they're gonna grow up a little faster. While we think Kuminga and Moody, we still wait. Like these guys are supposed to be good by now because they're around these type of guys, around Iggy.
But to me, the difference with Jordan Poole, I love this conversation. The difference with Jordan Poole and them other guys, he produced on the court. Remember, we just talking about, like Fabian said, the immaturity. I'm saying, why not? Let's see what happened this year. I don't have no problem with the faces and all this and that. We're in a new era. Like these young kids nowadays, and like I said, why not give him the benefit of the doubt when everybody else make mistakes? What do we say? I don't want to throw out no names. I don't want to have that whole nother discussion. But when other guys make even worse mistakes, man, he young and this and that. Give Jordan Poole the same thing. That's all I'm saying.
And it's not just making the faces. It's the fact that you line it all up with everything else. Like you said, Flea, it's not just the upper echelon on his own team. They spoke about him, but I think Steph and Klay. Klay also came out and said other things about him too. He did say it was his fault. He went against that also.
He was completely honest. I didn't expect him to like talk out both sides of his mouth. I either thought he was going to take one position or the other. I hear what you're saying. He had good things to say, and he also spoke about, he could have been better in some other aspects. So
I didn't see the Paul George podcast. I'm talking about when we heard the Klay Thompson thing came out like 2 weeks ago. Like, he was talking mess, this, that, and the third. I'm just saying it's pretty consistent now with Jordan Poole that he was immature. You could argue about whether he deserved to get punched in the face, whatever. But I don't think like how you act on the court, how you treat the refs. Draymond Green is still immature. Let's not get that twisted. But there are clearly factors for him on that team that lead to leadership, that he holds people accountable, holds himself accountable. Even when he messes up every other minute, he still holds himself accountable on some crazy bipolar mess. But Jordan Poole, we haven't seen that yet. It's just like I'm comparing that to how you compared Steve Nash and T Mac and James Harden taking his next level up on the next team with their talent. This guy is all mental to me. And as a matter of fact, it was to them also. They were all mental mistakes that he's making in the basketball game.
I'm gonna say this for we, this gonna be my last time as far as with this. Flea, I love that you brought that up. Golden State made a mistake. I'm not saying they should have traded Draymond Green, but I think they made a mistake getting rid of Jordan Poole. He was the third best player on their team. Of course, it would be Wiggins, but like I said, with the problems and things of that nature. But we tend to forget how huge Jordan Poole was in that championship run they had a couple years ago. That kid is a bucket. I think they should have tried to figure out a way to fix that, or maybe they dodged the bullet because now you ain't got to give them all that money. But in
They
also,
already
like
had.
I
They
said,
already. Oh yeah, you're right.
well, yeah, they gave him the 140, but I'm saying now,
Right.
like I said, you may
Yeah,
have
fact.
to extend them more. Remember,
It's
3-4
off
years from
their
now.
books now. Yeah.
Right. But I think
Yeah.
they made a mistake. I think that kid is, hey man, I'm just being honest. If you're a bucket and you can play and you can shoot the three, and that's what the game is today, I think you don't get rid of guys like that. I think Golden State made a mistake, and this is why the dynasty thing is over for them, bro. It's over.
Because what shot creators do they have now?
It's over.
Who's gonna create a shot aside from Steph? Who's gonna go create a shot, Don?
Well, they want Chris Paul to get him good shots.
That's
No.
cool. That sounds good.
No, they don't.
But you know,
Yes,
in this
what else did they
league
bring him in
now,
for?
right? But you know, in this league now, you gotta have 2, maybe 3 guys that could get it off the bounce. That could go create something.
That besides Steph, I'm telling you, well, that's why I agree with all ball that they're not gonna win the championship again. But I think in terms of the mistake thing, I think it was past repair, and I think that they tried to put on a front all season that it was all good, but clearly it wasn't good.
Y'all saw that comment from Fish? Did y'all read that?
Poole was not built for defenses to game plan him. Kerr benched the starters last year in multiple games to see if he was ready. He wasn't.
But apparently he averaged 25 points as a starter. All the Warriors fans keep saying that.
Yeah,
When Steph was down,
Yeah.
he
Exactly. But see, I think the problem is his role kept changing. And he went from last year before Clay came back to starting a bunch of games, and they were off to a crazy start.
Well,
and then he was like, okay, I'll sacrifice for the team by coming off the bench when Clay comes back, and it wasn't that much left in the season. They were already in a rhythm. But then remember when Steph came off the bench to start that Denver Nuggets series last year, that was like if Steph's not complaining about coming off the bench, then you better not be complaining when he's coming off the bench. And they were able to make it work for that run. But I think throughout the whole season, Poole probably feels he's better than Clay now. I think in his mind he feels he is. And Clay Thompson.
I disagree with that. I don't think Poole thinks that. And let me respond to what Fish said just real quick. Let's not forget, I'm not going to hold last season against Jordan Poole. It was real problems in the locker room. Yeah, so right. I'm not going to hold that against him. Is it an excuse? No, you still got to go out and perform. But you on a team with a guy you really don't like and got real beef with. So I'm not going to hold that against him. That young man is nice. He can play. We've seen when he gets the opportunities what he can do. So I don't see why he can't go to Washington and flourish. I think he's going to be all right. I think he's going to put up big numbers. I really do.
Yeah, I think Fish is more stuck on last season, like you said, than was the season before that.
Last season was tough for him. And as expected, you know what I'm saying? As expected, you coming into a season where the season starts. Y'all coming off winning the championship, and we quickly forget about that because now a video comes out that y'all had an altercation. So
that's a great point. That's a great point. To go from a high like that, and remember, you got Pat Riley always talks about the back-to-back. That second season of a back-to-back trying to repeat is tougher than trying to win the championship. You have that pressure on you, and then you have the ultimate drop-off with an event like that. Even if they didn't make it public, I can't see them getting over that. Him getting over that. There's no way. I don't care what Draymond is talking about.
But you shouldn't. I don't blame him for not getting over that. I'm just saying I'm not going to hold last season against him. Like I said, let's see. Now, if this season come up and he doesn't perform, then y'all got me. Fish, Flea, then I got to say, yo, man, I was wrong. But like I said, up until whatever happens in Washington, I'm not holding last season against him. I'm not doing that.
I see that kid. I see that kid making a huge jump. That's why I asked y'all, because I just feel personally I could see him, over 22 points a game next year, shooting high percentages, just being a guy that once February comes around, people gonna be like, oh, Jordan Poole might be an all-star. We don't know. I think that's gonna be the conversation around this kid this coming season for sure.
And he hasn't had like what better way to start off your career than with a championship team. And then you have Steph Curry, Clay, even Draymond. Say what you want about him, Steve Kerr, just all that basketball wisdom around you. And now you left that, but that never leaves you. You're gonna be in Washington, and none of them guys, even Kuzma has had that with the Lakers with some like. So when you ask that question, that's what I'm saying. Steve Nash, James Harden, or T-Mac, none of these guys were leading into their next team with that education with pulled into their brain.
That's very true. I just think,
a good point.
and I agree with that. That was the point that I had made somewhere else, that both those guys came from winning locker rooms. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if we could say LA was a winning culture because they just won that one championship, but it's a winning. They're
LeBron James,
right,
and Rondo.
Exactly, Dom. So it's winning culture, and then you come from Golden State, who has that dynastic feel around it still. Yeah. So yeah, you carry that to a new team, but you also carry that into a new team as a 25. However old Kuz is, he's 26, 27. Like, they still fairly young guys, and they're not as good as the guys that we're talking that I mentioned. T-Mac,
right.
Nash, who else did I name? Harden. You know what I'm saying?
Gilbert Arenas.
Gilbert. They're not that good yet to now take Washington to another level. So that's the only reason I disagree, with what you're saying, Fabian, with
but Gilbert Arenas, that's the guy he would have to look at. Because Gilbert Arenas, he went to the rack and he would finish. That was the difference, like what Fish is saying. He would still finish kind of tough, but he also mastered that pull-up. Like, Gilbert Arenas was one of the first guys to really usher in the whole, come down the lane and just stop on a dime and pop a three out of nowhere. So Jordan Poole would be, but I think that would be his, because again, like I said, it was too much razzle dazzle. I think he leaned too much into that.
And Gil ain't do a bunch of winning in Washington either. I mean, they were
in the playoffs, he did lead them to the playoffs 3 straight years. Even though I'm not
I thought they were tough, bro. I remember Gilbert Arenas and Gilbert Arenas was also immature.
Yes.
Like, let's not forget, like, he was starting his whole blog era and he was going crazy too. He was be online talking ridiculous. So Jordan Poole is not like that's the guy he should give a call to, as wild as Gilbert Arenas is. And again, to the Wizards. They're both getting traded from the Golden State Warriors to the Wizards.
Crazy.
That's an excellent comparison. I'm telling you, that was you hit it on the nose.
That piece too.
So, that's something we're gonna look out for.
I'm glad we grabbed on this. We hit this topic for real.
Hey, Fleet, let's briefly, quick. Let's get that FIBA. Let's see that roster and see what we.
Yeah, let's see the roster real fast. If you got it, Fabian, pull it up real quick, and we're gonna finish off with this.
Fleet,
what are our thoughts on it?
Why he doing that, Dom? Fleet, you just made me want to root for Jordan Poole, bro. Real talk.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be watching some Wizards games, hoping that they do well.
Real talk.
Yo, I never wanted to root for him, none of that. But after the way you framed that, I'm like, yo, I want to see him just.
I want to see the kid flourish, man. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
so look, these are the
best part of
FIBA
this
players.
team, Brandon Ingram or Anthony Edwards?
Please, somebody read this roster, please.
So you have Paolo.
Go ahead.
Oh, you can see it. Paolo Banchero from the Magic, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, Jaren Jackson, Cam Johnson, Walker Kessler, Bobby Portis, and Austin Reeves.
I'm not gonna lie, that team is for USA. That team is mid as hell.
It's mid, but I don't think they should get smoked.
Yes, they should.
Mid compared to what?
I don't think they should get smoked.
That team is terrible.
But timeout though. They still have Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton. These are stars.
What has Anthony Edwards done?
In the NBA,
in terms of
had a hell of a first round against Denver.
He's played 3 years already. All ball.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want?
Okay, well, let's look at some other rosters then. How good is Spain's team? Like, let's look at Canada's team. Actually, I want to see that team.
The best player on that team is Brunson.
No, or Edwards, or Bridges is great, by the way.
The best player on that team is Brunson. Knicks. What y'all talking about?
I'm with you. I feel you. But
he's better than the Ant-Man.
Yeah. On that team what has Ant-Man? Hold on. What has Ant-Man done?
best player on that team is either.
He go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say best player is either Anthony Edwards or Jaren Jackson Jr. for me.
I mean,
that's what they're talking about is going crazy right now in FIBA right now. They're all talking. They're praising Jaren Jackson, who I'm not big on. He's always fouling out of a game. He plays very low IQ to me for some guy who got Defensive Player of the Year. That's a really high honor.
He's a good player. I would still not say more of the end.
He's gotten a lot better with staying in games, Fabian. I agree with you. He used to foul out like shit. I'm like, stay in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
He's gotten a little better about that, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, he's gotten a lot better with that.
Edwards, I don't know. You said what's the Ant-Man?
Yeah, Dom. I don't like that FIBA team. I'm being honest with you. We needed at least. You're not going to get the first tier guys. You're not going to get KD and LeBron. Them guys is older, been in the league a long time,
and they did it already.
Right, but we got to get the second tier guys. We got to get the Devin Bookers, the Tatums, the Browns. Like, come on, man. What kind of games are we playing?
Real quick, Anthony Edwards is averaging 24. Last year averaged 24, 5.8 rebounds and four assists. And against the Nuggets, he averaged 31 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. He was 11-20 at 48% from the field.
He's averaging
31, 5, and 5 in that first round. That's good. That's great for your first round.
He was killing the Nuggets.
And
like that, those last two games, yeah. He didn't have that. That's the thing.
Yo, Fabian, hold on. What you want the nigga to do? Be an MVP right now?
Oh, listen.
Come on, man.
That shit win. How many games that series win?
5 games. I think they beat him once.
More than LeBron.
He was killing the Nuggets, right?
As much as the Heat.
Yeah.
As much as the Heat.
All right, so two. All right, so
that's who you guys were talking about Bruce Brown. That's who he said was the toughest team they played in the playoffs.
That's
was
the
Minnesota Timberwolves. And Ant-Man was giving him that business.
Ant-Man is not even top 15 right now. What y'all talking about?
Maybe not.
He's top 15 in my book.
Who's top 15 on that team, though?
Ant-Man is hold.
Let's talk about it.
Ant-Man is top 15. Ant-Man is top 15 in the NBA right now?
Let's talk about it.
I don't know. Yo, I don't
Let's talk about
That's
it.
A conversation, man.
Fine, maybe he is.
Don't start running off no names right now, too. Just think about this for a second before you start jumping out there.
You have to run out
there.
No.
All right. Hold on. Is he better? Who's better? Yo, boy, who's better? John Morant or Anthony Edwards?
Hold on. No.
That's a good one.
Answer the question.
It's not that hard. Pause.
Once again, we're going to go 5-minute overtime. Hold on.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Let's talk real. LeBron James, Kevin Durant.
Fine.
Luka, Kyrie, Jason
Tatum.
Whoa.
I'm not taking Kyrie Irving over Anthony Edwards anymore. Hell no.
Ant
plays defense.
Stop.
Ant actually plays D. He gets to the rim all the time.
He plays better defense.
Y'all telling me Ant-Man is better than Kyrie Irving. That's what y'all telling me on here.
Right now? Hold on. You think Kyrie Irving could have done what Ant-Man did last year with Minnesota versus the Nuggets? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
Ant-Man on Luka's team. That'd be vicious.
Simple question. Ant-Man is better than Kyrie Irving.
To me, he is.
I'm not there yet.
Bro,
y'all gotta stop.
I'm there.
I'm not there.
Let me ask you a question. When was the last? When the last time Minnesota made the playoffs back-to-back years was? Kevin Garnett, 04 and 03. He got into the playoffs back-to-back years. That's an accomplishment. He's the second and third.
The little ticket.
Hold on.
Hold
on. LeBron. So I'm LeBron, KD, Luka, Joker, Embiid, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry.
No.
Yes.
No, all right.
Really?
Go ahead.
No,
Steph Curry.
I can't.
Steph Curry.
Go ahead.
Steph Curry.
We with you.
Steph Curry. Go ahead.
Wait.
Yo, even hold on. Devin Booker's still better than him.
We got you.
Devin Booker's still better than him.
Anthony Davis, that's 7.
Yeah. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Wait.
Jaylen Brown is not better than him.
Jason Tatum, yes. Jaylen Brown, we may have to talk.
Jaylen Brown is not better than him. Jason Tatum, yes. Luka.
Why are you so
yo, OG, I feel like no bullshit. I feel like what you're saying right now is not gonna age well because you're gonna see Anthony Edwards this year and be like, yo.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Wait, hold on. You can still name more though.
I'm taking Jalen Brunson. I'm taking John Morant. I'm taking Shea Gilchrist. I'm taking De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, what y'all talking about?
All these are debatable the last like
Hold
5,
on,
6 years.
hold on. Dame Lillard, Jimmy Butler. I didn't even
Jimmy
name
Butler,
Giannis.
sure.
Hold
Oh,
on.
Jimmy Butler.
Hold on. I didn't even name Giannis.
You didn't.
Fair.
We'll give you
Okay.
Giannis. And Giannis, we can all
No,
agree.
that's the only for sure guy you mentioned in the last 8 slots, bro. John Morant is not better than Anthony Edwards.
There was one other one you mentioned that was definitely better. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, I'll give.
Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah,
You named like 10 so far that are definite.
Over Ant-Man. Yeah.
Kawhi
Right.
Leonard is better than
Top 15.
So hold on.
top 15.
Hold on. Paul George.
Debatable, honestly.
Yo, y'all have a good night. Listen, man.
I'm serious. I watch him every single night. Listen, if Paul George, I wish Paul George had Anthony Edwards' ferocity going to the basket. I swear, if he did that, we'd win 50 games. I promise you.
We're talking.
If Paul George had an ounce of Anthony,
Brandon Ingram is better than Ant-Man.
That's a good debate.
Healthy is tough. Yeah, healthy is crazy.
That's a conversation.
What about Devin Booker? You haven't even mentioned him.
Devin Booker is better than Ant-Man.
I said Devin Booker. I gave that's a definite. I said Booker. Anthony Edwards did not do what Devin Booker did last year in the playoffs.
Say it again.
11.
Names, he might be
top 15. No. Hold on. That's y'all 11. Hold on. That's y'all 11. I gave damn near 20 that I believe is better than him.
Trae Young better than him.
A lot of them are very debatable. Why are you so low on
Trae Young better than him?
Yeah.
DeJounte Murray
debatable to me.
No, not Murray. No.
Well, Murray an all-star.
So
no. The numbers, no, he's not better. Trae Young is better. Murray's not better.
Okay.
Embiid is better.
You said our point guard is better.
He said Embiid.
Yes.
Oh, you said Embiid? Okay.
He said Embiid, yeah.
You said Shea is better.
Who else?
Yeah.
SGA is better than him right now. Nah, SGA is what, 6th season?
De'Aaron Fox is better than him.
I don't know if SGA
you ain't listen.
SGA
clears John Morant.
We make a case for Sabonis.
You said Shea not? Shea first team in NBA. Shea better.
No.
You think so?
You ain't telling me that. You ain't telling me. You ain't listen. All ball knows.
SGA was not first team All NBA.
Yes.
I'm taking Jamal Murray.
Yes, he was.
Hey,
he was first. He was first team.
Can I say something?
Okay, but that's not my deciding factor.
I'm taking Jamal Murray over Ant-Man.
No.
That's a lot, man.
It's this conversation. I think these are debatable. I think these are
great. Dog. Really if you give Ant-Man Joker, that's the best tandem in the league. What did you just say?
Is Ant-Man
that's how you close up the live all ball. Is
Ant-Man better than Cat?
Fuck
yeah.
Yes. That's not even close.
That's your guy, bro. Oh boy, that's
give
your
me that
guy.
Shit all ball. Cat?
His name is Cat.
They're about to move Karl Anthony Towns all because of the ascension of Anthony Edwards.
Is he better than Don?
My son just said. My son just said his name is. He said his name is Scary Cat. Right now, Donovan Mitchell. Wait. No, it's not a debate. That's not a debate. Donovan Mitchell right now is better than him. I gotta salute. No, I'm saying me. I gotta tip my cap to that. No way. Donovan Mitchell right now, as bad as that playoff performance was.
Hey, Flea, listen. I'm
that's
running
12.
a lot of names off, bro.
Nah,
okay, but you're like exactly. Thank you.
You're almost at 30.
Is he better than Bam?
Anthony. Ooh, that's a good
Bam
one.
Adebayo.
Is he better than Bam Adebayo?
That's tough.
Trust Ant-Man as a
that's
leader,
tough.
Bro.
I take him over Bam. If I'm starting a team, I'm taking him over Bam.
I mean, y'all know I love Bam, so it's hard, you know.
Right now, August 7th.
On Ant-Man.
I got a special
August 7th, 2023.
I don't know if Bam can't do the things that Anthony Edwards does.
And Anthony can't do nothing that Bam can do, bro.
Defensively, I agree. But
defensively,
not even close.
You're sleeping on the Ant-Man, though, man.
You're going to see a this is not going to age well, bro. We're going to come back to episode 6, and you're going to be like,
y'all said Ant-Man is better than Paul George. Like, yo, this is crazy on him.
I literally have Paul George on my team.
4 years old. Yeah, he might be. It's starting to.
Listen, if you watch Paul, listen, I'm just telling you this right now. If you guys had Paul George in New York, you guys would light his ass up, like with the shit that he be doing. He's so unserious sometimes. It's insane. Like I love him to death, but he is so
Ant-Man better than James Harden?
Right now, yes.
Anthony
Mr.
Edwards
E,
gets the free throw line so much more than Paul George.
Hey, Flea,
Mr.
listen, bro.
E,
I see
Mr.
you
E
over
said
there,
Bruce,
man. Like Flea.
Bruce
Yo,
Brown,
because
Bruce,
I don't, you know me. It gotta make sense. Shit gotta be logical. So when we throwing out some of these names, I can't quickly say, yeah, because Ant-Man be giving all of these niggas the blues.
All right.
All of these niggas the blues.
I went to a game.
De'Aaron Fox don't got nothing for Ant-Man.
All right.
He
Okay.
don't.
that's a
He's a great player, though,
that's a little harsh. That's a little strong there.
Ant-Man coming at
Flea.
Jaylen Brown full steam. I don't know what Jaylen Brown got for him.
Hey, is Ant-Man better than the light skin guy over there in Chicago?
Yes.
I'm just
Yes.
asking.
Yeah.
You talk
Yeah,
what?
Okay. I'm just asking. Zach LaVine. I'm just
I'm
asking.
taking over. I'm honestly.
Oh,
I think
no.
they're
Wait.
players.
No, you're not asking. You're fishing. You're fishing now because now you enter the zone where he should not even be questioned about. Ant-Man's pedigree right now is not in the
Anthony,
is a
yo,
good
check
player.
this
Zach
out.
LaVine.
Oh, boy.
Zach
He's a good
LaVine.
player.
Hold on, y'all.
OG.
Hold on, Doc. Hold on, y'all. Y'all said he averaged 24 in the regular season and he averaged 30 in the playoffs.
31,
And Boston
5
5.
and 5.
Hold on.
Get the chance.
All right, hold on. He averaged 24. He's not even averaging 30. So why are we so crazy over Ant-Man?
For me,
How many players average 30 though?
But
it's a lot. You know,
It's
you
a
know
lot.
how
Nah,
many-
that's
you know how
way
many he's
there. That's a
averaging?
lot.
27
like
plus.
5, man. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Two.
it's a lot.
Like 5.
Two, it's his ceiling.
No,
It's
it's
his
not.
ceiling for me. Like
Yes, it
a lot
is.
of
I'll
the
look it up.
guys that we name, I don't know how many of those guys are gonna continue to get better. I know that Anthony Edwards next year is gonna get better. 3 years from now, he's gonna be better. 5 years from now, he's gonna be better. Paul George ain't gonna be better 3 years from now. He's just not.
Not even better than Ant now. I'm telling
Right.
you.
There's a lot of guys that we rattled off that are gonna start going like this. Not
Okay.
continue to go like this.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards is just gonna continue to go like this. And I promise you, at the end of this season, you're gonna be like, you know what you do. You're gonna jump out here. You're gonna be apologizing.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I can't wait till y'all apologize to me. I can't
Zach-
wait for this.
No, there won't
Zach
be none.
LaVine
I promise you there won't be.
Zach,
And Edwards,
Zach LaVine averages the same amount of points basically and 4.5 rebounds, 4 assists.
See, not bad.
So he's-
But
and
Anthony
yeah.
Edwards,
Anthony Edwards
not
has
bad.
played more playoff games than Zach LaVine has in his entire career. I promise you.
Oh, Jesus Lord. Zach LaVine has
Right.
one playoff run, 19 average 19, 5 and 5.
Zach LaVine has played in probably 4, 5, or 6 playoff games total.
Okay.
How many games?
5.
How
He
many
played
playoff
in
games has
4.
Anthony Edwards played in?
Okay.
Already.
And like
No.
Mr. E said, Bruce Brown said that Ant-Man was the hardest to guard this past postseason. Maybe in the league, not sure.
I saw him.
And that's
I
Bruce
saw him-
Brown that you've been singing praises for the
Now,
whole.
but now
whole
we listen
playoff.
to now we listen to what Bruce Brown said.
That's
Oh,
your
no,
man.
we use it. That's your guy. That's
your
your man. He's over. That's your man.
Hold on. I like
I've
him on the
seen-
court, but I'm not listening to him tell me Ant-Man is the toughest person I guarded, and you still got KD, LeBron, and them guys. Get the fuck out of here, man. You kidding me?
Yo,
I've
wrap
seen
this
the
shit
Ant-Man.
up because
No,
I ain't
hold on.
gonna
No,
sit here
hold on. No, hold on before we wrap this up. LeBron, KD, Luka, Giannis, Embiid, Joker. Y'all said Donovan Mitchell, Steph Curry.
Tatum.
I still think that's debatable, man. I'm not giving
Hey,
Donovan
man.
Mitchell that easily. I'm not.
Y'all have a great night. Let's finish this
It's
next
not
week.
unanimous. Tatum.
What do you-
Have a
I
great
think
night.
Still got
I
6
think
more
we
to
need
go.
spin the block on this Anthony Edwards conversation.
Have a great
Yeah.
night.
Hey,
Because y'all up here
Anthony-
will tell me, so Kawhi Leonard and Paul George is not better than Ant-Man.
Kawhi
is-
healthy,
there's
come
a
on
huge
now.
Kawhi's better.
drop off between Kawhi and Paul. I don't think you understand how frustrating this guy is sometimes. He's really so frustrating. There's games where he does not shoot free throws at all. It's a
So
problem. Anthony Edwards is
if
getting in the line.
we put Kawhi in there, we damn near 11 or 12 or something. Then we
Kawhi's
got
better.
Trey. Let's finish next week.
The Ant-Man,
We gotta
you're
spin the block
sleeping
on this
the
one.
Ant-Man.
we got to
He's a
spin the
beast.
block on
He's
Ant-Man because the disrespect that you provided Ant-Man right now, I don't like it.
I
Wow.
saw this guy. I've seen him play live 3 times, and I had good seats for basically all of them. His elevation at the rim is crazy, but the one thing that stuck out to me the most is there was a game. It was our 3rd game with Russ this season, and won. Weren't supposed to win. They won, and then after the game, he was still out here in LA at night after a win, putting up shots in front of all of us. I was like, holy shit. And he says even love basketball.
He'll work.
I didn't name Jimmy Butler.
We did.
You did.
Yeah,
No.
On
just saying, this guy's
on the
he's a better
yeah.
player.
I got you.
We're still at 11. We're still at 11.
That nigga Fabian is like, yo.
You're not.
About 11 easy for
You
sure.
hear
but
him?
the rest-
How we still at 11? When
Because
we
you
was at
mentioned
12,
20
we
other
named
names.
Jimmy Butler.
You went to Zach LaVine and really the fishing cord went like that.
They both
Deep into the
averaged
ocean.
24.
And one of them went to the playoffs and took a game from the championship Nuggets. One of them did that.
But let's not. Wow.
Levine got Debo over there too.
Wow. We know.
I think the
I'm leaving
Timberwolves
it
are
at
better,
that.
though.
Like Flea said, let's spin the block. Let's get up out of here, fellas.
Let's spin the block. 4 horsemen, man. 4 sportsmen, man.
4 sportsmen.
4 sportsmen.
Thanks, guys.
Let's talk
Have
about
a
a
great
down
night,
dropper.
everybody, man. Flea, Don, Fabian. Love y'all. Have a great night. See
Love y'all,
next
man. I'll
week.
talk to y'all soon.
Yes.
Like and subscribe.
You heard?